Well, hello, hello. Hey, Dis, what's up? Right at the beginning. It's nice to have you here. Almost passed on streaming tonight. And then I was like, no. We got this. I was too enthralled. I'm too enthralled with the story to pass up. And I've got a good pace going with it. Oh, that actually sounds really good, though. I don't know if I've ever had plum wine. I, too, though, have a beverage of the night. It's my favorite thing of calling alcoholic drinks. Beverage of the night. Yes. Yes, you do. How easy has it been for you to stay inside? As far as, like, meeting needs of, like, groceries and stuff. Like, I assume you're able to, like, work from home at this point and everything. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, man, I would... If I didn't have to go to, like, the campus where I work, the ops building, I would so regress so hard into, like, literally just being complete shut-in. I mean, all I do now is, during the weekdays, go to the building for work, and that's it. And shopping. Like, I do every once in a while. I pick up slightly more groceries than I would on a daily basis or whatever, or on, like, every time I go on a basis like that, just so that I'm limiting the amount of actual grocery trips I'm running. So that's the thing, I'm shut in too, and, like, that part hasn't really impacted me. The whole, oh man, I can't go out. I'm like, cool. Now I have a slightly better excuse than just being like, I don't want to go out tonight. Yeah, the whole thing, soon I'm gonna be able to have the chance of working completely from home in a couple weeks. I get to do it for like a couple to 3 weeks to test it out, how I like it. Because apparently my whole, now that my workplace has seen people working from home and everything, they're like, hey, we actually kind of think we like people working from home. And so they're, once in like a couple months, they're gonna try to see if they can get about 75 to 80% of like the whole building from working from home permanently, which is interesting. I was like part of a meeting where they were going over the numbers about how they're trying to figure that out, because they know there's apparently some people that are like all gung-ho about working from home, and then there's some people that absolutely detest it. So I'd be curious to see. I'll get a couple weeks to test it out, and then they're going to want me to see if I would want to do it permanently. And I see like the positives and negatives of it. Like, working from home would be dope, not having to go anywhere. But I know that if I do that on an almost weekly basis, I will never see another human being. I will fully commit to, I just live in my apartment and I only, like, leave for groceries. And I don't know if that's the healthiest thing for me. Because it's already at a point where, like, the people I see are, like, people at work. And then like before all this was happening, the occasional friend visit. Yeah, exactly. Like, I know, like, as easy as it would be to, like, laugh it off or whatever and be like, oh, haha, you know, you don't have to see anyone. There is probably a bit of unhealthiness where it's like, if you're inclined, like me or you, to be the type of person that, you know, might just easily find a way to not interact, like, that's probably not the best thing. I mean, I have a couple reasons, like there's certain things where with this new job and everything, I was like, I told someone I was in that meeting I was talking about that I was like, man, it would suck that if I would have had to be working from home when I was trying to learn everything new about the new job I was doing, just because I'm much more of a visual person, and if I was having to try to learn things remotely from people, it might not work as well. Yeah, that's why I'm gonna be curious. Like I said, I occasionally worked from home at the old job and didn't like it just because I was one of a few people that did it, and there was like no tech support, and it was the jankiest of setups, and it just sucked. Like, I was like working with 1.5 hands behind my back basically every time I had to do it. I'd be curious to see how well this one, like this whole situation, kind of turns up. If I do it, I need to invest in like an actual nice desk and like a chair. The most basic of things. For sure. I was a part of, like, I did my first like workplace like Zoom meeting for the first time, and it was only like 7 people, and it was a pain in the arse. Like, I don't like being on camera. He says while streaming constantly. Yeah. I would have to make sure that I definitely like have that separation, like when the time is done for me to like completely. Even just this past Friday, I stayed at work later than I normally do, just because I was like caught on something, and then something else came in when I was working on something, and I was like, well, I need to make sure I finish this one thing before I leave, and then I got wrapped up into another thing, and like next thing you know, I looked at the clock and I was there like an hour later than I was supposed to be, just yesterday. So I feel like if I'm like, oh, well, I'm not having to drive to and from, I would be afraid that, like, I would have a natural tendency to, like, overwork myself, maybe a bit. Yeah, for sure. But I'll give it a try. Like, it's nice that they're at least going to be like, hey, give it a couple weeks, see how it works, you'll see how, you know, how you can do it. I just am curious, because if they want to have that many people working from home, like, there's going to be a push. If there's enough people that are saying they don't want to work from home, I'm afraid for the whole situation where it's like, oh no, we're gonna start forcing people that don't want to have to work from home. Using the commands. Follow age 1 year and 10 months, almost 2 years. Damn. And you had started with a Bloodborne stream, which I was just looking back at. I was getting some archived stuff up, and I just popped into a random video of a Bloodborne stream. I was like, good times. Simpler times, jankier times, but good times. For sure. I miss him. Seems so long ago. Because it kind of was. It kind of was, but also, like, we've just gone through, like, in the course of 2.5 months or so, we've all, I think, as a society, have aged, like, 5 years. Oh, that means a lot. I did go back and, I was like, God, I sucked at that game. There were some really dumb things I did during that playthrough. And, like, it's like, you were watching it as someone who had played it, and there's, like, some things where I was looking back and I'm like, man, it was just infuriating to probably have to watch at certain points. Dumb but great. It's a good summation of my life, actually. It's the tagline. Dumb but great. For sure. For sure. It is by far one of my favorite series that I've done since I've started streaming. Just because I was so far out of my league, where it was like, I know obviously Souls games are a thing and had been a thing for a long time, but like I barely had played. I played a bit of like Demon Souls way back in the day, and like I was so far out of it where I was just like, when I started it, I thought it would be one thing, and then it quickly turned into another thing, and I was just like, and then the ending to that series will always be funny to me, just because I got to a point where I wanted to say that I beat the game. And so I spent some time off stream, just grinded some levels. And then, like, part of me was like, oh, it feels so good to just be able to kind of just blow through some of these things in the DLC and the final bosses and stuff. And then the other hand of me is like, should I feel bad that I did a little bit of grinding? But still, I'm glad I actually stuck with it and ended up doing it. It was a whirlwind of a series for sure. I saw the clip of you beating that boss, and I had seen that the name I had recognized when you had been tweeting about it. So I knew it was something that, I mean, I would never have guessed 15 hours, though. That is ridiculous. That is dedication. That's to the point where I would get so frustrated that I don't know if I would make it through. I don't know if I've ever played a game where I was stuck at one single boss or part in my life for over, like, double digits of hours. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't have that dedication. I'm not a good enough gamer. And lots of people tell the weapon sucks. Oh, so it's double stubborn. So not only is the game, you're stubborn with the game, but then you had to prove all those people right, I'm sure. And I'm sure, because I saw the moment, like I said, I watched that clip once you had finally beaten it. And I was like, oh, it probably feels amazing to get over that hurdle. 15 hours, though. Have you upgraded it? Oh, earlier today, I was playing that shitty Alien Destroy All Humans 2 game. And the dude from a week or two ago came back and was back to his same old shit. And I gave him another warning real quickly, and then I was so close to pulling the trigger on just doing a fair little timeout, And by the time I was about to do it, I was like, one more message, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. I think he had left a little bit before I ended the stream, so I was like, all right, well, you're safe then. Backseat gamers, man. Telling me optimal way of collecting things. People telling you that your weapons suck. It was funny though, because if I obviously I don't expect you to go back on stream, but I actually said on stream, I was like, "Hey, I know you're good intentions, maybe whatever." I said something along those lines, but it's like, I don't need all that. You know, I said it some way like that, and I'd like to think he could take the hint. He wasn't as bad after that. But, like, some people just cannot help themselves, and it was ridiculous. I don't get it. I've never, even as, like, I want to say even going back as, like, a little kid, and I'm playing games with, like, my siblings or something, being over the shoulder and just being like, hey, do it this way. Like, that's not what Twitch is for. You're watching, like, just watch, just enjoy. Because this guy is saying he's done everything in the game, and that's, you know, what I'm doing in the game. Cool. So what makes you want to just go and just try to communicate to someone how to play a game? Like, that's where the disconnect for me is. And do you go through and do you have to take, like, moderation tactics into it and be like, all right, I told you guys, I warned you or something? Because that's where the thing where I'm like, this guy, like, I'm like, all right, cool. Clearly you're enjoying yourself by saying, like, hey, make sure you do this. Oh, and, like, on one hand, I'm like, dude, to start chatting, you have to agree to the little rule where it's like, don't fucking be a dick or anything, but yeah, that's fair. That's why, like, again, back if it go most of the time when he was saying stuff, I was just ignoring. And the only things I would respond to is if when it wasn't like a backseat gaming type comment. Almost like positive reinforcement to the good stuff. Good in heavy quotes, but yeah. Cause yeah, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey, shut the fuck up, rando. Yeah, that's fair. But I also am like, I should be able to take care of it on my own. Get the guts to just kind of just do the thing. Lay the hammer down. You need to summon someone, like, get the help, like, call in a buddy. And then you did it. 15 hours, but you did it. It's a high tense situation. I don't blame you. I think the type of game definitely summons people like that, though. Like, the Souls community is full of just good-natured people, and then people are like, oh, do it this way or you're doing it wrong. Da, da, da. I get it. I didn't summon anyone's help during my run of Bloodborne either. Slightly different, maybe. But I was like, no, I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm gonna suck. But I'm gonna do it. Yeah. And that just goes back to my whole thing where I'm like, I don't get what drives a person to do it. Like, to me, that's not fun. I mean, if anything, it's fun to see a person conquer something that's more difficult. Like, that's, especially with Souls games, the whole point is that they're intentionally difficult. So then if you're a person drawn to someone playing it for the first time or whatever, and then being like, no, here's a way to not fail, and for you to just plow through or something. Like, in their heads, the best outcome is for you to read their message and you be like, oh, I've seen the light, I've seen the way. And then you go in and you just smack around the boss for a couple, immediately, just by their text. Ignoring the fact that there's more than just a tactics that a boss might come down to. Like, you have to physically do the deed, you know? But that's what they're assuming they're going to do. So they give you one magic sentence that you're like, oh, I've seen the light. And then you do it, and then you beat the boss, and then they get filled with this thing like, oh, I helped that person do it. And to me, that just seems weird. Like, that's no fun. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, people always think they're going to be much better than they actually are. Like, it's very easy to be not playing the game and just be like, hey, I know my way's the best. You're just doing it wrong, when they don't have to actually perform at anything. Damn! Fuck that person. Man, I'd be pissed. I would huff away. I would just be like, alright, well, fuck this person. People like that suck. But no, like I said, that's got to be really satisfying. On top of not only just if you were just not streaming it and just if it took 15 hours and you beat it, but then on top of that, you have all these people in chat just being obnoxious, and you just fucking prove them wrong, basically, is what that comes down to. Yeah. Some asshole dude just being like, she 27 minutes in and I'm just feeling good just shooting the shit. Fuck 428 Shibuya Scramble tonight. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Like, even if the lurkers who are just like, oh, you know, nice little claps or whatever, or even if they don't say anything, like, it's got to be nice to have just a nice handful of people that are, even if they don't actually outnumber, their praise or them just being like, hey, that was a good way of doing it. Like, hopefully that feels like it outnumbers, or at least outweighs, I guess, the shitty people, basically. Because fuck shitty people. It's a good way of summarizing it. Fuck shitty people. Oh yeah, that's the thing. And that's where it kind of, even going back to like the guy who was coming in the other thing, like I was intentionally going against what he was telling me to do. He's like, oh, save your upgrade items because you're gonna want it for this one weapon you get later. And every time he was saying that, I was intentionally going to this upgrade store and just upgrading things. So you're eventually, hopefully they would know that what they're saying or what they're telling you isn't working, and then hopefully they just leave. I'm like, all right, good, be gone. Vamos. The fuck? Man. That is creepy. That sucks that shit like that happens. Like, that's actually to the point where, like, that's the type of thing that infuriates me. Just because, like... people just think that they're just free to do weird shit like that. I mean, I'm not saying anything revolutionary, but like just because you happen to be a female playing a game in the open, and then people are like, "Ooh, we'll be a fucking creep," and it's just like again, whatever. I know, again, not revolutionary, but like, how do you have to be raised to think that that's acceptable and be weird? Like, it can't be that weird that, like, the way I was raised, it's like, there's no way in hell I would think that that's an appropriate thing to do. And I'm not trying to be on, like, some kind of high horse or anything, but man. What? Ugh. 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 Slimy. I don't like the combination of those three words. Independent Chinese girl. That is weird. That is weird. Bless the next person's stream that he goes to. Ugh. It just makes you wish that there was some way, some easy catch-all system that's just like, gets those people just away from everything. From society. Hopefully. Oh no, it's a middle-aged dude. Oh no. Ah! Ah! Slimy! Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Terrible. Also, I'm laughing at he revealed his age. So he openly was at, I guess, again, wasn't a part of the chat or whatever, but it just like, did he like, well, I'm almost 40. Like, how did that come up in the conversation? I imagine creepily. It would be the adjective is how it got brought up, but ugh. And that's the type of thing, again, take me off the high horse or whatever. That's not like a thing that I have to deal with, like, just because of the type of person I am. I mean, the worst thing that I had was earlier today. I was just goofing around in Overwatch and had some dude just berate me because I wasn't doing what he wanted me to do. But that's it. It's not based off who I am as, like, a person. So, like, that shit disappoints me, where it's like, I'll never know what it's like. Oh, well, I'm just, a woman playing video games online. And that apparently just opens me up to get just creeped on, shit upon, All the worst stuff. Oh. Classic year in username. Wonder if it would be worse if he was like, whoa, 81, not because of 1981. I am actually 81. I'm a grandpa. Being weird. What is Twitch? How did I get here? This is just... Oh my god. I hate bad people. I hate shitty people. Just be gone. Be gone. I keep restarting. I keep wanting to just lay into shitty people. I think my stance is known on bad people. Bad people are bad. Okay, where was I in the story? Okay, so we were doing Minorikawa, and we were doing his branch story, and I chose just a bad decision, which ended, and I got a bad ending. Well, I don't know why this guide pops up every time. It was just this. I had chose the bad thing, I investigated, I got two... It's like a curiosity killed the cat type situation. And I got a bad ending. So I just need to not pay attention to the beeping. No, this was good. This was a good first pre-stream 30 minutes. I enjoyed it. I have to just like calm down and get into like reading mode now. It's a tonal shift. Seriously, what the heck is that? Ignore. Well, never mind. I need to focus on finishing this article. Norikawa immersed himself in this writing again. Before long, he stopped worrying about the curious sound. No! 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 I can't believe you would lie in wait. Scoop the whole... right as I start playing. Scoop the whole story. I'm gonna have to put you into a timeout. And, timeout 20 minutes. It's like the ultimate trap, where you just like lie in wait. A solid 30 minutes where you don't say anything, and then you just come out. It's some kind of dedication. I'm dead at Destroy All Humans fan 81. Oh, God. I feel like not a lot of story is getting done tonight. Okay, focused. The plump young woman set about devouring all the food she ordered despite the strange looks she was getting. Good on her. Now that was an appetite to be reckoned with. COD Dude 81. I'm gonna just keep guessing the game. I mean, it might have been Dark Souls, because it was a Dark Souls dude, but... Halo 81 XX. bubmanXIV. 81 fan. It took her under 3 minutes to polish off the lot. Then, looking not the least bit sated, she picked the menu right back up. Was she seriously going to order more? Minorikawa was starting to take an interest in this young lady. There might be a story here. I waver between how much I like Minorikawa. Like, I love how he's very interesting. He's very, very lively of a person. But he also seems too curious. Like, he's too much into things. He conjured up a series of headlines in his mind. Woman inhales 30,000 calories in 3 minutes. This is the equivalent of 100 pieces of shortcake, 300 glasses of milk, or enough steak and rice to feed about 30 people. Thanks, game. No, he needed something more with more punch. Food for thought, an expose on obesity. No, that was no good. He wasn't writing for a fashion mag here. A gourmet day in Shibuya. That was it! He'd be able to whip something up if he went with the foodie angle. Minorikawa got up from his seat. That's pretty impressive, he said to the hungry diner. Do you always eat that much? Terrible question. The young woman glared back at him. Not always, she said. Suddenly tension filled the air. Oops, was that way too blunt of me? I mean, she is a young lady after all. Maybe I should change up my approach. Who the heck are you anyway? The woman asked. I'm a freelance writer. I was hoping I could do an interview with you real quick. You want to interview me? The suspicion was plain on her face. I do. I mean, girls all over the world worry about their diets, right? I hear that, yeah. So would you be willing to share your secret, or your technique or whatever, for how to eat without getting fat? The fuck, Minorikawa? What, me? Sure, I mean, look at the figure you're maintaining despite eating all this food. Alright, the young woman's expression brightened up. Oh, you noticed. There's actually a lot that goes into all this. Yeah? The basic thing, though, is to eat 10 meals a day. Norikawa struggled to keep his jaw from dropping. 10 meals a day? She flashed him a chubby-cheeked grin. You don't know how diets work, do you? She chuckled. Eating only 1 or 2 meals a day, that's what'll make you fat. You gotta space your food out into smaller portions throughout the day. That's the fundamentals of dieting right there. Right, but what happened to the smaller portions part? Norikawa had to bite his tongue. Ah, I see, he said. Any other pro dieting tips you could share? Well, for the basics, I'd say always drink protein instead of tea, yeah? Drink protein all day? Seriously? Once again, it took all of Minorikawa's willpower to keep his thoughts to himself. Yeah, like, she doesn't look terrible. Like, the game is portraying her as, like, like, fatty boomaladdy sitting in a chair with all this food, but, like, that's not... Let's see, what else? Oh, there's a stuff called Burning Hammer, too, but... She trailed off with a little wince. Wait, Minorikawa perked up. Did you say Burning Hammer? Oh, you know it? I've heard of it, anyway, Minorikawa replied. He decided he was better off keeping his plans to head for the sales demo secret. There's a sales demo later on if you're interested, the woman said as if she were reading his thoughts. Though, full disclosure, I am working for them right now. She handed Minorikawa an advertising pamphlet. There was a more detailed map of the venue included. What a stroke of luck! Now he didn't need to rely on the crummy map in the project proposal anymore. He'd have no trouble finding the venue with the building's various floors all broken down for him. And actually, I gotta get back to work, the woman said. Sure, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to hang back and finish up my copy here. The woman left the cafe and Minorikawa went back to his laptop. He'd gotten some new info on the Burning Hammer sales demo, but he'd also lost some more time. The surveillance camera piece still wasn't finished. It was going to be a near thing. It was going to be a near thing to get it done before the sales demo started. Yet instead of returning to his focus, Austin. Yet instead of returning to his writing, he got out his cell phone. What if Toyama had gotten another of his crazy ideas? If he tried to hang himself again? Jesus. The thought had Minorikawa too worried to work on his copy. The phone rang several times before someone picked up. Mr. Toyama, where are you right now? Minorikawa asked. Right now? I'm on the run, somewhere near Shoto. An upscale residential district. Despite being smack dab in the middle of the city, it's a quiet neighborhood, rife with greenery. The residence of the former governor of Tokyo is here, built on a massive 2,200 square meter plot of land. There's a shady hotel district a short walk to the south, making for quite the juxtaposition. Toyama was speaking in an oddly hushed tone. Shoto? After you left the office, some guys came by to collect all my debts, so I made a run for it. Okay, so he wasn't dead, but the situation was still pretty bad. Look, we'll get you through this somehow, Norikawa said, hoping it was true. No. I'm gonna tell him. Oh, I forgot to mention. So, last time we streamed this, or maybe 2 streams of this ago, I was like, oh, I really want to see all the bad endings throughout the thing. I think the best course of action is to probably just go back at that at the end of the game once I finish the game. So I'll probably just play this naturally, and then whatever ends up being the finale of this game, I'll probably end up also just going back and trying to collect bad endings. Because it's going to be way too disjointed for me to go back to previous hours and be like, hey, let's go hunting for bad endings. Like, because I did a quick search online, and apparently some of the bad endings to get are like really difficult to find. Like, you've got to like make a bunch of different branching decisions and stuff. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna actually pull that off well. So we'll just go through the narrative. Just keep your head down and stay out of trouble. Stay where you are now. Stay where I am? But what am I supposed to do? Chiyama's voice dropped in and out. Sounded like he was moving quickly. Find some place to hide and just lay low for a while, Norikawa told him. Alright, Toyama said weakly. He hung up. Norikawa let out a deep sigh, then turned back to his laptop. No, fuck! Sudden. I always gotta scream out an exclamation whenever we hit a keep out. Or a bad end, for that matter. So, we're left with nothing done on Osawa, though I do like the concept of Osawa being the guy that we just wrap up at the end of every hour by himself. Now, wasn't there, unless I'm mistaken, wasn't there someone's story here? I think these line up intentionally. 1250, 1240? Didn't someone's story jump to that I'd reached into Minorikawa? Potentially. It's not gonna be that. Two different jumps. I think it might have been this. Oh. Duh. Easy. I'm a pro 428 Shibuya Scramble player. Achi ground his teeth in frustration. Hitomi, he groaned when they slowed down to catch their breath at last. I'm so sorry. Hitomi was nonplussed. Sorry, whatever for? I keep saying how I'm going to help you, but instead I just keep putting you in danger. Achi, no. If you hadn't been with me, I'm sure I'd already be No. Achi heard you cut her off before she could finish. Don't go there, please. He sighed, then spoke again more quietly. Yeah, no worries. He sighed, then spoke again more quietly. I just want to help you. Clenching a fist, he looked up at the sky. Wait, was I supposed to... Ooh! I almost fucked that up. I got the sense where I kept reading into the story and I was like, wait a second, I was here for a reason. Clutch. Alright, I'm gonna just top off my drink here real quick and then we'll jump, so give me like 1.5 minutes here. Pro 428 player caught the reason I had jumped back into this to catch the jump into Minorikawa. Minorikawa took a look at his wristwatch and gritted his teeth. By the way, what sort of impression do you have of this wristwatch? Just respond with whatever happens to come to mind. I don't know. I mean, I like the face of it. It's serviceable. Not too flashy. Damn, is it that late already? He needed to head for the sales demo. Their surveillance camera article wasn't done, but he'd just have to leave it where it was for now. So we are approaching a part where Minorikawa is going to head-on meet up with, I assume, Tama and the gang. Like, so far, anytime stories have intertwined, it's always been like side characters in one person's story interacting with other people's main character, other storylines like main character, but I don't think we've had really main characters meeting up main characters yet, unless I'm forgetting something. I want Tama to meet Minorikawa. It's a good meeting. As he was slipping his laptop back into his bag, his cell phone rang. He looked at the screen and saw Chiaki's name listed as the incoming caller. Was she done with her interviews? Hurriedly, he picked up. Chiaki, how's it going? Chiaki Iso. I know I've said it now 2 or 3 times. The fact that we can't see Tama's face or Chiaki's face, I assume that there is a narrative reason for that, and I'm just so curious what that is, because it reminds me of like Virtue's Last Reward and Zero Time Dilemma, where you've got a character who's intentionally obscured by a helmet or a full-on robot suit. And I'm just like, what the hell is this game? What surprise is this game going to throw at us? Several wet sniffles came through the receiver. Hey, are you crying? It's no use. Chiaki's voice was, indeed, punctuated by sobs. People won't stop to talk, no matter how hard I try. Oh, come on! This again? Really? I can't do it. Don't worry about paying me. Just please let me go home. Minorikawa was already operating on a too tight schedule. He didn't have time to worry about Chiaki on top of it all. Look, just slow down and take a breath. Try and keep at it a little longer. He should have seen this coming when he first called her. Her shyness was practically pathological. But if he cut her loose now, all this frustration would be for nothing. But I can't do it, Chiaki whined again. Please, just forget you ever called me. She hung up before Minorikawa could get another word in. He tried calling her back, but she didn't pick up. Damn it, Chiaki. Don't you dare bail on me, leaving money for his coffee on the table. Damn, his coffee costs... Oh, I was about to say those are dimes, but no. What? We're not in America. Minorikawa jumped up and bolted from the cafe. I'm a dum-dum. I was like, man, a cup of coffee, 50 cents? That's pretty nice. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was as crowded as ever. Minorikawa looked around, but there was no sign of Chiaki. She bailed. Minorikawa dropped to his knees in despair. His last hope had up and left. There was no one else he could even ask. Damn it. Alright, then fine. I'll do it myself. He dragged himself back to his feet. Alright, listen up, he shouted at the passing crowd. I'm doing street interviews here, starting now. You guys, shut up and help me. I mean, don't shut up, but help me. I still go back, like, what? I was gonna make an observation. And this game... I was just gonna say... Jesus, terrible time to say. I was just gonna say... I think I said maybe this... Now, I'm just repeating things throughout the series. Maybe first or second stream of this. This is probably a fun-ass time making this game. Like, shooting these shots and everything. The slight videos and the photos and everything. It's probably fun. Alright. Bleak. He wound up blowing way too much time just to get 2 pages worth of content, leaving himself unable to finish the other articles. In the end, the issue of 4-star General Gossip never made it to the newsstands, and Heaven Publishing went down for the count. I think that's a bad ending. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Chiaki! Without Chiaki, Minorikawa just couldn't get the gossip finished in time. What made her run off, though? Chiaki shows up in Kano's story at 12:10. One of the decisions there is what ultimately put her over the edge. What? Kano's story at 12:10? What? Chiaki in Kano's story? Is it raining outside? I think it's raining outside. Kano's story at 12:10. 12:10 here? Well, what? You're right. That's Chiaki. No, I didn't. It was so obvious. It was so obvious, and we didn't even realize. We were just like, oh, this is just some random fucking girl on the street asking a dumb, weird question. How it was so obvious. It was so obvious, but also wasn't obvious. How did this game pull that magic on us? That's incredible. This fucking game, dude. I think I'm enjoying this game too much. I think this game is just weirdly hitting, like, all the things I enjoy about storytelling just too much. Like, it's directly hitting me. Like, oh, this is a hole specifically for me as I go into... Oh, that sounds weird. Yeah, that's dope. That is dope. Because we knew about Chiaki as, like, a person and how she was sent to interview. But, like, never... Somehow they pulled off just that thin layer where they're like, wow, like, I don't know if they even intentionally did that, where, like, you would not know that that was, like, if they were intending you to be thrown off, that was... Oh my god. I start the stream, shooting the shit for 30 minutes. I was not expecting to just be bamboozled like this. Okay. I gotta calm myself down here. What, the girl? Asked Kano. Yeah. Want to go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing. Questioning her. That's what I'm saying. They narratively pulled off a thing to make through Kano's story just we've gone through this game. Okay, this is the brilliant thing. We've gone through this game where we've met enough side characters from the most minor to ones that were like, okay, these are going to be very pivotal to the story. But when you first meet them, you have no idea if they're going to be, again, pivotal to they mean nothing. So we've gone through only a few story hours of this game, and you see a character and you're like, oh, is that going to be an important thing? And then they have some interaction with one of the main characters, and you never know. You're left wondering, is this an actual important person or not? And then it comes back that, oh, this is actually a very important person. Or you go back a couple hours and you never know if the person that you had some small interaction with is a pivotal person or is just a kooky side character to just show off an interaction between the main character to maybe develop the main character more, if that makes sense. So we had seen her and just been like, oh, it's just like an interesting interaction to see with Kano, not knowing she was pivotal to the other character. Jesus, she can't be involved with this, can she? Sasayama flashed him a skeptical look. Don't let your preconceptions get the better of you. Could get you killed. Fixed notions one has about something before the facts are known can be a hindrance to thinking freely. If you think about it too hard, you might fall victim to the preconception that preconceptions themselves are always bad. Nicely put. I know that, but still, she doesn't come across as involved to me. Kano knew better than to judge people based on appearance, but he was still convinced the girl wasn't part of this gang. She just struck him as far too, well, inept, really. Alright, I'll go look into the girl, Sasayama said. But also, what I was just saying, there was a reason that, because you could have played stories in different orders, there was a reason that they, over the phone, weren't showing you what her face looked like, because there was the slight reveal that, oh, she ends up being Chiaki. Alright, I'll go look into the girl, Sasayama said. You keep following the Itachi case. Kano nodded and hurried after the man. Mind blown on a Saturday night. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who'd handled the Itachi case had been wearing the same black clothing. The fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Now, I changed something in the storyline. I don't have to go through all of this then, right? Like, that gets permanently locked in, I assume. Alright, I'm changing the timeline here. Minorikawa took a look at his wristwatch and gritted his teeth. So what impression do you have of the wristwatch? I already answered. What's your impression of the wristwatch? I'll wait for your response as I take a drink. This fucking game, though. 428 Shibuya Scramble. Competing at a very high level to try to take over my favorite gaming experience of this year from Final Fantasy VII Remake. 2 square. 2 square. That's fair. Damn, is it that late already? He needed to head for the sales demo. The surveillance camera article wasn't done, but he just had to leave it where it was for now. The timeline changed. As he was slipping his laptop back into his bag, his cell phone rang. He looked at the screen and saw Chiaki's name listed as the incoming caller. Was she done with her interviews? What was the question she was asking Kano? Wasn't it something weird? Wasn't it? It's weird, though, that we don't know then what she possibly was just asking Sasayama instead. Like, is it potentially obviously the whole interaction changed because Kano just went off to follow the Itachi case. Sasayama could have had some random-ass conversation with Chiaki at that point. It was something weird, like, are you happy with your current situation? And is that the type of right questions she was supposed to be asking? Also, I should say, it's now thundering outside. Well, hopefully the power doesn't go out. But if the stream just cuts weirdly, it's thunderstorms. Just knocked out the power or something. Or the internet. I guess that could happen. That happened not too long ago, so I'm just putting that out there. Yeah. Are you happy with your life? Okay. Because it had to have been something that was misconstrued as some kind of weird, as Kano said, some kind of like weird, possibly religious thing or something. As we're all familiar with. Was she done with her interviews? Hurriedly, he picked up. Chiaki, how's it going? Several wet sniffles came through this receiver. Hey, are you crying? It's no use. Chiaki's voice was indeed punctuated by sobs. People won't stop to talk no matter how hard I tried. Wait, it did save the story though, right? Oh, come on. This again, really? I can't do it. Don't worry about paying me. Just please let me go home. Norikawa was already operating on a too tight schedule. He didn't have time to worry about Chiaki on top of it all. Look, just slow down and take a breath. Try and keep at it a little longer. He should have seen this coming when he first called her. Her shyness was practically pathological. But if he cut her loose now, all his frustration would be for nothing. But I can't do it, Chiaki whined again. I'm sorry, I really am. Look, just calm down. Norikawa was practically screaming into his phone. Just stay where you are until I get there, okay? Got that? Whatever you do, just don't move. Leaving the money for his coffee on the table, he strode out of the cafe. Street interviews were tougher than they looked. Not many random passerby were willing to stop and do it back and forth. Still, being able to talk to people on the street was a fundamental skill for a freelance reporter. All Minorikawa wanted was for Chiaki to put in a little effort and make it happen. Okay, so yeah, it seems different. We fixed it. We fixed the timeline here. Although he found her personality frustrating, he actually quite liked her writing. Reading her words, you never guess what she was like in person. If she could just break the right story, he was sure readers would be quite taken with her. There was no time like the present. Good job, Minorikawa. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was as crowded as ever. Minorikawa looked around and soon spotted Chiaki. Hey, what are you doing? He asked. Oh my god. She was hunkered down in front of the statue of Hachiko, squatting in an odd position. A group of kindergartners was gathered nearby, peering at her with sadness in their eyes, like she was a stray dog or something. A pair of girls from Midoriyama Academy's kindergarten always hang out around the train station after school. They're quite fond of killing time inside of the Tokyo 5000 series display car, the new landmark by the Hachiko entrance. The beat cop at the station police box has nicknamed them the Kinder Partners. What's this all about? Minorikawa asked. This is how I end up when I lose all my self-confidence. I just want to hide. Oh, for crying out loud. Get up, will you? I don't wanna. Stop crying. Chiaki sniffled and wiped at her eyes. Let me ask you this. Minorikawa stared down at her. What was it that made you want to be a freelance writer? Well, I guess because I wanted to try my hand at writing. A dangling bit of mucus bobbed in and out of Chiaki's left nostril as she spoke. Okay, Minorikawa followed. And why is that? Well, I'm too embarrassed to say. Chiaki hid her face in her hands. Okay, never mind that then. Right now, you have a task that's been handed to you. You can't just say you can't do it. Minorikawa tried to keep his tone calm. No magazine in the world is going to let a novice writer just write about whatever they want. You have to prove yourself first. Get your fundamentals down. Yeah, it's like a butterfly effect thing, where that's going to be like the big conclusion is like the cockroach ended up like being sent into space, mutates, and then lands back down as giant possibly. And it's like an epic 5-on-1. All 5 characters come together to battle the giant cockroach. That's how it goes. I already know all that. These fucking kindergartners are great. Minorikawa took the notebook from Chiaki's hands. Hey! She squeaked. Wait. You've only talked to one person so far? There sure wasn't going to be a story in that. Yeah? Well, not a person exactly. Oh no, she interviewed like a dog. Wait, what's this here? A cat? It looks like a cat mixed with like a tanuki. Raccoon ass tail cat. No, I mean, yes, there was a person in a cat costume. Do we do the jump? No. We stick. Because we're at 12:50. We're almost done with Minorikawa's story, and then we can just head back here. That cat looks eerily familiar. I thought since I couldn't see their face, it'd be easier to ask them stuff. Fine, whatever. Now get back out there and get me some more. Look at the fucking kids also pointing. Oh my god. Like I said, this was probably a dope photo shoot. It's so good. Minorikawa steered Chiaki toward the passing crowd. What, now? Yes, now. You've got no time to waste. I'll even stand by and watch for a minute. Now enough with the excuses. Get out there. Minorikawa looked on as Chiaki wandered through the crowd. Her anxious demeanor seemed to repel everyone around her. On the rare chance she did manage to flag someone down, the way she stammered through her initial questions made them take right off A again. That's a weird way of saying again there. After a minute or two, she shuffled her way back, shoulders slumped. See? It's hopeless. Okay, some advice. First off, you aren't approaching the right people. Some people are clearly in a rush, you know. You're not going to have much luck trying to flag down a businessman who's visibly in a hurry. Now, folks who are waiting on someone, couples, groups, they're going to be less on their guard. But I mean, if I do manage to nab someone, how do I keep the conversation going? Chiaki asked. That was indeed the tricky part. Whenever I get an answer I'm not expecting, I get all flustered. Chiaki, have you ever played tennis? Tennis? Well, yeah. I was in my school's tennis club. She struck Norikawa as being more the manga club type, but that was neither here nor there. Fucking diss, dude. Don't be so mean, Norikawa. Okay, that'll make this simpler. What's more fun, rallying with an opponent or hitting the ball off of a wall? Rallying with someone else, of course. Norikawa gave a hearty nod. And why is that? Because when you hit the ball off of a wall, you already know where it's going to come back to. Revelation dawned on Chiaki's face. Oh! Nice downward angle there. It's the same with interviews, Norikawa said. Don't get flustered. Enjoy the rally. But I don't think I'm composed enough to enjoy it. Don't overthink things. Just let yourself enjoy the small talk. Small talk? Oh, I'm sure I'm not any good at that. She was starting to waffle again. Okay, let me ask you this, Norikawa said, taking a step closer. Are you happy with your life right now? I'm not happy with my life right now, no, Chiaki muttered. She hung her head in dismay. Okay, so start with that, Norikawa said. Huh? Chiaki blinked a few times as she lifted her head back up. I'm not happy with my life right now, but what about you? Like that. Oh, okay. A sliver of liveliness had crept back into Chiaki's voice. Norikawa jabbed his finger right in her face. Right there, he said. Put on that face when you flag people down. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Norikawa quickly taking the lead, like, furthering his lead for me as favorite character of the 5. A little weird, a little brash, a little out there, but good-natured. Chiaki's smile widened. I'll give it a shot. Thank you so much. Sure thing. Good luck. Chiaki strode enthusiastically into the crowd. I don't like that sound. And tried to flag down a Westerner who was walking hurriedly past. If Chiaki immediately gets into danger here, this guy's gonna scoop her up, and I'm gonna be pissed. Also, this music is like we've been sent through a mirror and we're going to some parallel world or something. Did she even listen to a word I said? Norikawa felt his short-lived triumph melt away. Am I just going to have to teach her everything again from scratch? Then he paused in surprise. Hold on. Okay, good. Whoa. Chiaki had snatched the man by the arm in an attempt to get him to stop. To Norikawa's amazement, the gambit worked. Before long, it looked like the two were engaged in some sort of animated conversation. Maybe she would get an interview out of this after all. Heck, the look on her face was actually somewhat confident. Sometimes people could surprise you once you get past their surface issues. Now Norikawa could head to the burning hammer sales demo with a little more peace of mind. Speaking of which... Crap, what time is it? In a panic, Norikawa checked his wristwatch. What is this gonna say? Think about this wristwatch. That'll tell you how to think about the opposite sex and whatnot. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick and just let this linger. Alright, let me review. You're quick to judge squareness. Hope everyone has pondered about the opposite sex and whatnot. I definitely had when I was going to the bathroom there. I like to think that this wristwatch is like some higher philosophical being somehow. Like, what a random ass thing to put. Oh my god, okay. The demo was set to start in less than 5 minutes. Uh-oh. He really was cutting it close. Like, again, game design, great. Early on in this game, they teach you, hey, not only will you get interesting facts, but you will potentially see important, like, jump moments inside of, like, they train you. They first do with interesting facts, and you're like, I want to read the interesting facts. Then they sneak in jump sections into the highlighted words. And then they're like, all right, now we're going to pull some fast ones on you, and we're just going to put some inane shit inside of some of these. And it's a good cycle. Game design, man. Arakawa sprinted through the intersection, heading for center guy. You could say he was... What's the whole thing? I was gonna try to say some lame-ass joke. The whole thing is it's titled 428 Shibuya Shakedown. Because... Or, not Shakedown. Fuck, Scramble. Scramble, not Shakedown. Scramble. Because that's what they call this section of Japan, the 428 block, where it's just a mass of people. And I was gonna try to make some joke, but I ended up being unintelligible. I still like the Japanese name of this, 428 in the blocked city, Shibuya. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Crisis averted. Okay, we did it. We did it, guys. Sorry if that sounds terrible. My mic situation a bit. Okay. So we look at the timelines here. Kano is at an impasse. We finished Achi. Arakawa's also finished. So 2 of the 5 are done. And we're gonna be jumping. We'll jump right into Thomas' story here. It's just right here, I assume. Yeah. Setting up to have Asawa be the last dude again. Wait, what's this here? A cat? No, I mean, yes, there was a person in a cat costume. Jump to that person in a cat costume! Ugh, what should I do? Where could the truck that took the burning hammer possibly have gone? I'm standing there, racking my brain when I hear a voice call out from behind me. Excuse me? This is the good stuff. This is the interactions I want. Cue up that music. Are you, happy? With your life right now? I turn to see a woman holding a notebook. Huh? I mean, just... Sorry, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? I do not have time for this right now. I'm more than a little busy. Oh, no. I mean, I understand if you can't. She's giving me this hyper-intensive stare. Can't tell if she's trying to be intimidating or if she's actually afraid of me. Something about her is definitely off. Way too jittery and suspicious for my liking. Whatever she wants, I'd rather not get involved. Look at this. I'm actually pretty busy, I say. Oh, I mean, just real quick, it'd be a huge help, please? But, please? I really... Please? She bows so many times she looks like one of those drinking birds. A toy bird that functions by means of a simple heat engine mechanism, causing it to continually dip its head into liquid and then rise back up. Sometimes falsely claimed to be a type of perpetual motion device, once a common sight in offices the world over. It's like a Porygon 2. Top tier Pokemon. Okay, we're not going to be rude to Chiaki here. We're going to pick A. I can't help but feel bad for this poor girl. I guess I can give her at least a few moments of my time. Alright, but please make it quick. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. She goes back into drinking bird mode. So, what was the question? Oh, right. So, are you, happy with your life right now? Well, right now, as you can see, I am a cat. Oh, a cat? Yes, I see, a cat. So, yeah, I'll put down cat. She just writes the word cat in her notepad. Right, thank you. Huh? Are we finished already? Yes, we can finish right there. She hangs her head a little and looks away. Well, that sure was quick. I'm not sure I get what it was all about. Did I really give her enough to be useful? I doubt it, but hey, at least it was over fast. Good stuff. I head off in search of the burning hammer once more. Ah yes, she's looking for the burning hammer that was taken away from the recycling man or garbage man or whatever. No matter where I wander though, I don't spot the truck anywhere. Now there's only 15 minutes before the demo's supposed to start. I better make my way back to the venue. Maybe Cheery had better luck in her search. Luke. Back at the break room, I'm met by Mr. Yanagashita, who positively radiates despair. Good. Did you find it? I'm sorry, I tried. Yanagashita's shoulders slump further at my response. Have you heard from Cheery? I ask. No, nothing yet. I guess she's our last hope. All of a sudden, Mr. Yanagashita holds up a pendant. The situation's rough. I'd like you to wear this. It's a miracle stone, like the one I saw back in the storeroom earlier. This ought to kick up your luck a notch. Now I see that Yanagashita is wearing another miracle stone around his own neck, using one bit of sham merchandise to help find another. Nice. Oh yeah, I kind of almost forgot that the fucking Achi just fucking threw... Yeah, that is the whole thing, right? They're gonna get there and either it's all gone or a good portion of it is gone, probably. Achi just fucking threw it at the cane guy, dude. This is the pinnacle of pitiful. Pinnacle of pitiful. Like that. That's what this is. Hurry up, put it on, before the luck runs out. Mr. Yanagashita's eyes are all bloodshot. Something tells me that refusing his request wouldn't be wise right now. After a moment's hesitation, I take hold of the pendant. The stone is blue and glittery. Is that Cheery? Mr. Yanagashita squeaks. He whips out his phone. Ah, no, sorry, he mutters after listening for a moment. I think you have the wrong number. Guess it isn't Cheery after all. Okay. And yet he stays on the line. Huh? Really? His tone suddenly does a complete 180. Yes, please, thank you so much. As soon as he hangs up, Yanagashita strikes a victory pose. It's a miracle! Definitely his J.O. crystal. And he gave a J.O. crystal to fucking Tama, too. So they can be J.O. buddies. It's a miracle! Burning Hammer is back, baby! The recycling guy realized his mix-up and returned the boxes to the loading dock. Whoa, for real? You girls did great. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I've never seen someone come so close to literally jumping for joy. I'm going to go prep the demo room. Tama, you go bring the burning hammer inside. With that, Mr. Yanagashita practically flies out of the room. Good. No way, I murmured to myself. This thing didn't actually work, did it? I examined the miracle stone more closely. It just looks like some kind of toy jewelry. I wish that I actually get paid my 20,000 yen. Hey, it's worth a shot. With the miracle stone still clutched in my hand, I hurry out to the loading dock. I braced myself before actually stepping out the door. It's there! It's really there! The cardboard boxes are scattered all around outside. Wait. Scattered all around? What happened to them? I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this. Apprehension gnaws at me as I open up one of the boxes. Oh no! Oh no! No! Get fucked, Burning Hammer. I shriek and my vision dims. Yep. The box is full of bottles of Burning Hammer. All of them smashed to pieces. Damn. Not even a bad ending. That is the canonical ending to that hour for Tama. Well, I would want to say that again, we've been set up to have Osawa as the last person here. But we have not yet finished Kano's bad ending. Was the whole we got married situation, right? Right. What was the whole thing here? Someone's interaction with the dad and what's-her-face had to change his story. So isn't that Minorikawa here? Yeah. Yeah. Gonna change up the storyline here. It was rare nowadays to see a father behave so imperiously toward his own daughter. Just how sheltered had he been trying to keep her? Man, let's get real for a second. I know all about a daughter being sheltered from a parent. Sheltered due to a parent. Austin takes a long, hard drink after that. Okay. Norikawa couldn't see her face from where he was sitting, but his interest was piqued. Alright, so I assume if I just pick the, Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately, if you want to look at the bright side of everything. So I assume by picking the, I just realized that that could potentially be misconstrued. Not me personally. Not my own parents. Someone else's strict parents. Sheltering. Wait, but I said daughter, so yeah, no. It's been a long Saturday. Okay, so I assume by picking B, whatever happens fixes Kano's storyline, then he doesn't become a farmer, and all is well. Yeah, I forgot that I had said daughter, so then I'm like, oh wait, I need to make sure the record's straight, that I'm not dissing my own parents, because that was not the intention, but then I realized I had said daughter. No. He reminded himself that he needed to finish his article. Besides, if this young lady looked anything like her father, he'd just as soon pass. The fuck, Minorikawa? Minorikawa went back to his typing. It took a few minutes to reestablish his writing groove, with the two still bickering across the room, but thankfully he soon regained his focus. Okay, timeline corrected. Yes. Here we go. Alright, so we're setting up then, unless something funky happens here in Kano's story. Potentially, we're going to see the end of Kano's hour, and then we've set ourselves up to just do Osawa for the next hour. Osawa, always the conclusion to every hour for us. Which is crazy, because Osawa, potentially the most heavy of stories. Kind of just funny how that all sets itself up. Thinking back to the way to Tatsuno, not Totino, not Tostino, Tatsuno, had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers, made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Shoot, it's bleeding pretty bad, he heard someone say behind him. Whoa! What? What? He turned and saw two young men carrying another along. Saw two young men carrying another along. You're right. You're right. I'm downplaying Tama's situation and just how upset Yanagashita is going to be about the Burning Hammer just after he did his happy dance and everything, knowing that they all just are burst, just done. Because some street punk named Achi used them as a weapon. There was a towel wrapped tightly around the third's head. Hey, what happened? Kano asked. Shut your mouth. Kano blanched. He blanched. Can the attitude. He's trying to help. Another voice cut in. It was Satsuyama. Had he finished dealing with the girl by the station then? What happened to your friend? Out of my way, man. I ain't afraid to kick your ass. Look, cut the crap and let me take a quick look. Satsuyama unwrapped the towel from around the young man's head. Ooh, that's nasty. The young guy was a little more than a kid. Was a little more than a kid? Jesus, come on, game. His head was soaked red with blood. He appeared to be unconscious. Okay, so the only difference is to juvenile affairs. Oh wait, no, there is quite a difference. I had to reread that like 2 times. It's like reversed. So they couldn't just leave him like this, but they were in the middle of a job, or they were in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. I'm gonna do be the good person. They were in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. They should probably take him to a hospital. Kano offered to help carry the bloodied young man, but Sasayama stepped in front of him. He quickly flashed the 2 youths his badge. Oh crap, you're a cop? You a cop? I mean, Sasayama nodded. Who you kids with? The Bamfs? The Bamfs? Shibuya's number 2 gang, its leader, Sohei Ikari, has gathered up some big mean dudes in an attempt to make Shibuya his turf. The gang's leadership is inferior to that of SOS, but on an individual level, its members tend to be stronger in a fight. Word is that the rise of the Bamfs is one of the reasons SOS has been growing more combative recently. SOS? SOS, admitted one of the young men after some hesitation. Who attacked you? Yo, it ain't like that. What was it like then? Infighting? The young man was silent. Sasayama must have been right on the mark. In the course of his police duties, Kano picked up a fair amount of street gossip from the young people in Shibuya. Lately, the scuttlebutt about the legendary SOS gang was that they were dealing with some internal strife. Look, don't worry about it. I get it. There's a hospital just down that way. Hurry up and get him there. The young man batted off Sasayama's offered hand, then quickly hauled his friend away. Sounds like SOS is on the verge of breaking up with all this infighting, huh? Kano asked. He kept his eyes on the young men, as they headed off. Yeah, seems like it's been pretty rough. You know, what with the original leader leaving and all. The detectives in juvenile affairs were well acquainted with SOS's original leader. That would be Achiendo. Initially, SOS was nothing more than a small group of like-minded young people who hung out together, but as its membership grew, the general public began referring to the group as a gang. Word has it that back when Achi was in charge, gang members never started any conflicts themselves, but simply responded in kind when others brought fights their way. Because Achi's a good guy. The stories were like something out some after-school special. There were tales of them taking down gangs who sold drugs to kids, or breaking into Yakuza front offices to save their friends. The detectives of juvenile affairs took these stories with a grain of salt, but if there really were young people like that out there, Kano hoped to meet them someday. I like those bongo hits in that music. The detectives had to hurry to catch up with the man they were tailing. He was still strolling along, seemingly in no particular hurry. They kept him in sight as he crossed another pedestrian overpass and circled back around. Still following the same MO, huh? Sasayama grumbled. Guess so, Kano said. How'd things go with the girl? He was careful not to take his eyes off the mark as they talked. You were right. She's not part of this. Just one of those street evangelists or something. Oh yeah? Yeah, she kept asking me, but are you really happy with your life? Wigged me out. I bailed out of there quick. That's it. So, Sasayama, I'm thinking the Itachi case is going to get handed off again any moment now. Huh? Sasayama appeared at the mark, who was scanning the plaza he had just entered, apparently looking for someone. I take one side, you take the other, Kano suggested. Oh, question. You take the other? I know how to read it. Sasayama's eyes went wide. Say what now? That way we apprehend both perps involved with the handoff. Sasayama didn't reply. Look, HQ isn't thinking about the hostage's safety, Kano said, but that needs to take priority here. Sasayama's face took on a rare solemnity. Disobeying a direct order. Orders. They didn't put in space in between order and is. Not something to do lightly. A detective's behavior is governed by the Local Public Service Act. Article 32 states that a detective is to faithfully follow the orders of a superior in the course of his duties. Violating this is punishable by warning, reduction in pay, suspension from duty, or dismissal. In the event of a warning, not only is the individual expected to submit a formal letter of apology, but pay raises may be delayed or performance bonuses cut. Then, after a moment, he added, "But I'm on board. I'm sick of all this wandering around anyway." "That's the Sasayama I know," Kano replied with a chuckle. Haha. Sasayama gave him a silent thumbs up. I also just gave a silent thumbs up. The two detectives took up position on opposite sides of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on his cell phone. "You ready?" he asked. "Just give the word." There were only two non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain the handoff was about to take place. And then... well, well, well. If it isn't Mr. Toyama. Kano's ears perked up at the sound of an aggressive greeting, the voice dripping with feigned cheer. He whirled around to see two rough-looking young men confronting a father and his daughter. Oh no, it's the fucking loan sharks again. Just beating up this guy and Yanagashita. Terrible. The older man looked pained. "Please, just hold on," he said placatingly. "I thought we agreed on 4 o'clock. The young man snarled. "Don't you try and play dumb with us, buddy." "It's nothing like that, I swear. My girl was just hungry, so I just stepped out to..." "Yeah? How come you didn't just order delivery, huh?" "Ah, yes, right. I suppose that would work too." "Don't you ha me, man." Kano watched the argument uneasily. The stranger's altercation put him in a bit of a spot. The crook he was tailing probably wouldn't risk handing off the case with an uproar like this going on. "What's going on over there?" Sasayama asked. "I'm not sure," Kano replied. "Looks like some kind of argument. The suspects are going to get wary on us. It's going to screw up the whole handoff." "Yeah, I know. So do something about it and get over there." "Here." "Not there. Here," Sasayama said. "What?" "Find some way to shut them up and then get over here." "Oh, sure, alright." Kano headed toward the argument. He was only halfway there when Sasayama called again. He sounded panicked. "Hey, Kano!" He made a run for it. "Huh? Oh, crap!" This track in particular sounds exactly like something from 999 / Virtue / Reward / Zero Time Dilemma, I gotta say. Just putting that out there. The man they'd been tailing had vanished in the brief time Kano had taken his eyes off of him. "Wait up!" Kano shouted. Sasayama was racing after the suspect and Kano rushed to join him. The man was surprisingly quick, however, and neither detective managed to catch up. In fact, they soon lost sight of him amidst the teeming crowds. Frantically, they dashed through the streets as fast and as hard as they could. "We lost him," Sasayama admitted at last. "Damn it." He stamped his foot on the asphalt in disgust. "Director Kuze?" Kano gasped over the wireless. "I'm sorry, but we lost the man with the Itachi case." Classic Powerpuff Girl drum beat? Really? I don't remember. I mean, it's obviously been a while since I've seen that, but I don't recall anything from Powerpuff Girls sounding like that. I mean, admittedly, I don't remember any like tracks in particular from that show. Plots and characters and stuff, but not. Jungle Beat? Maybe. Post stream, I'm gonna just want to check. Here, let me check. I don't need the theme song to Powerpuff Girls. Did they do a reboot of the Powerpuff Girls? Because I'm just... This is not what I was expecting to find. Wait, what is this? I mean, this is just the theme song. Is this what you're talking about? I mean, the next thing is how to play the funky drummer beat. Oh! Let's play Raid Shadow Legends! The stream has just devolved to me just playing the audio from YouTube videos here. Funky drummer beat. Oh, he stopped right when I was about to do my shitty beatboxing.
This is one of those
Okay, well,
that...
thanks, funky drummer dude. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying. I totally forgot what the Powerpuff Girls theme song sounded like. It has been... I don't know if I'd be able to do... I would not be able to hold my own in like a music theory stream. I could do like a music appreciation stream for sure. Oh, I never told you. I ended up being able to watch, and I recorded on my phone the whole not surprise, but the Gorillas thing that was on that late night thing. And it was just a modest little, like, Damon little solo thing. One of their newer songs that they've done over the past few months. But it was good. And of course the obnoxious fandom was like, oh, it wasn't enough, we expected more. I'm like, I hate the fandom, if I'm being completely honest. Heavy digress, though. There was a heavy sigh on the other end of the line. Kano braced himself. He wasn't going to be able to weasel out this one with just an, I'll do better next time. Sasayama, Kano, get your asses back to the precinct. Kuze out. Agents are go. That's what this guy reminds me of. Yeah, he was doing it remotely. So, like a week ago or something, he also did like a song poem, like a 20-minute long like live recording of a song poem, which was actually really lovely. And both in that and in this, Damon is just, I feel like during quarantine, Damon is just in like a barn attic. Like, if you look at his surroundings, it looks like he's in just like an attic of like an old shed or something, and he's just got like a bunch of shit. Like, it looks like there's just a bunch of stuff wherever he's located is just being used as some kind of storage, and then there's like a piano up there, and he just did like a recording of like a thing. I can probably, I mean, there's videos online, but I can just probably send you what I had sent, or I had recorded. Probably you can send videos over Instagram, right? Potentially. No, you can't. Instagram yelled at me and said videos have to be shorter than 60 seconds, and the whole recording is like 3 minutes. You can find it online on easy. You just have to type on YouTube Gorilla's Jimmy Kimmel. I think you can also find it on like Gorilla's Twitter, Instagram as well, probably, because I didn't know they were going to be put up there. But it was good. It was nice. I liked it. It was intimate. And I love Damon. He's a wholesome dude. Kuze out! With that, Kuze switched off the line. Back to the precinct. Kano knew full well what that meant. They were off the case. Yeah, it's a good song too. Aries. There was a gnawing in his gut. If those two punks hadn't shown up, no, if that father and his daughter hadn't turned up, he might have been able to apprehend the suspect. Don't let it get you down, Sasayama said. I mean, paper pushing can be kind of fun. The look on his face, however, suggested he didn't think it was fun at all, not one bit. With the air of two men heading to an execution, Kano and Sasayama trudged back toward the Shibuya precinct. Is this a patent? God! Kano was taken off the case because he had lost track of the suspect thanks to a random altercation nearby, and his glum conclusion was correct. If that father-daughter duo hadn't shown up, this wouldn't have happened. A certain someone needs to give these two some better advice, and a certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside of his or her house. Both of those are key to changing poor Kano's fate. What the fuck? Okay. A certain someone needs to give those two some better advice, and a certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside his or her house. Huh. So two interactions to change, to prevent them from showing up in Kano's story, basically. Now, the thing is, we're probably not going to be able to neatly hang on Osawa to just be the last story, because potentially one of those decisions are inside of Osawa's story. So I wouldn't be able to just hang off on Osawa. It's the fucking loan sharks, dude. What did this game teach us? Loan sharks mess up everything. Loan sharks, low lives. Trying to think who else deals with the loan sharks. Maybe? I mean... maybe more will be revealed when I get to Osawa's story. Did Minorikawa ever get to... But I don't think that works, because not only is that in a separate hour, which I thought the game was trying to tell us that, like, none of the interactions from previous hours could directly impact the current hour, but not necessarily telling them to, because the whole thing back in that hour was that they were trying to find Mr. Yaman, you know, the whole Burning Hammer story part, not to find... the father-daughter. And that's why it makes me think it's this, because something in Minorikawa's story, just because he directly is involved with that guy. Oh. I couldn't read the sarcasm there. I think we'll just have to do a Sawa story. Wait. I just didn't see this. Alright, we'll go ahead and change this. Look, we'll get you through this somehow, Minorikawa said, hoping it was true. Yeah, right? Yeah. You need to get back to the office ASAP. The office? But they'll find me there for sure. Chama's voice was little more than a pathetic whimper. It's a little bit of reverse psychology. The last place the debt collectors are gonna think you went is back to the office, right? Ah, I see, Toyama said. He sounded impressed by the suggestion. For now, just stay hidden until I can get these articles finished. Alright, Toyama said weakly. He hung up. Norikawa let out a deep sigh, then turned back to his laptop. Okay. Canon half corrected. Can I not easily... We'll just do it this way. Okay, Asawa. Slightly heavy story. Let's go. Again, art imitates life. Just like cockroach in video game, cockroach in real life. Whoa, shit, whoa. Oh, I hit a button on accident. What is this? What did I get to? I don't need a summary. I mean, I like that there's a summary. I don't... What did I hit? Is this side? Oh. Huh. Interesting. I guess if like you put the game down for like a long ass time, a summary could be nice. If you weren't as big brained as I am and can keep multiple storylines straight as well as I am. It's actually a joke. I have the worst of memory, but it's fine. The rain won't let up. No matter how much time passes, it just won't stop. Ever since that day, the sound of raindrops has been burned into my mind. Such an awful, heart-rending sound, driving me to strip my life down to shadows. And yet, no matter what else I abandon, nothing will make the sound of the rain stop. Asawa stared at a postcard that was nestled in the final page of the photo album. He'd purchased it 2 years earlier, while on a trip with Maria to the Middle East. Originally used to indicate Iran, Afghanistan, and the region surrounding them, in modern times the term refers to part of southwestern Asia, excluding India and Afghanistan, and the section of northeastern Africa along the Mediterranean coast. Okay, this music sounds like the overworld for Spyro 2. Like, what is it called? Summer Forest? The first one? Or maybe one of the other ones? Winter Tundra? Autumn Falls, or whatever that other middle one is called. That's what this music sounds like. If we're talking about music that sounds like other things. However, in Japan, as well as the US, the term Middle East is often understood to refer specifically to those parts of the region with a strong Islamic influence. It's the autumn one? What is it called? Autumn breed? No, autumn... I'm trying to guess it without looking it up, because it's going to bother me if I look it up, or if I don't get it. Autumn Bundesliga. Maybe it'll come to me. It's often understood to refer specifically to those parts of the region with a strong Islamic influence. Okay. He'd mentioned that he was being sent there on business, and Maria had just blurted out, "I want to go with you." She'd recently developed an interest in the Middle East conflict, and apparently she had been yearning to see the area firsthand. The ongoing friction in the Palestine region between the Jewish people who founded the nation of Israel and the Arabs who had been living there previously. The religious and historical context of the cultural clash is well beyond the scope of what can be elucidated here, which is very true. Real talk. The Middle East conflict is quite the conflict, to put it lightly. The autumn one you're calling is the best hub worlds? I mean, I know it's heavily being drawn upon nostalgia, but just the hub worlds of all of Spyro 2, all three of those, are all really great. They all give off, like, a great feeling. Like, Winter Tundra, I love the color palette of. And if this music is from the autumn one, then the music in just that hub world is great. And I love how you can, like, get up really high to, like, fly to certain areas and stuff. Like, it's very vertical, which is great. And then I would say the first one, the Summer Plains or Summer whatever, is iconic because, like, its layout is great. I love how there's, like, a castle thing just in the middle of it. Like, it's fun to just run around. Like, all three are good for, like, slightly different reasons. Spyro 2, man. Man, when I played and streamed the Reignited trilogy, and replaying Spyro 2, it was great. It was a great moment. Video games are great. Sometimes. His daughter's newfound curiosity had taken him aback. She had always tended to be quiet and self-contained. The clumsy conversations aboard the airplane, the meals eaten together in awkward silence, it all felt like a distant memory to Asawa now. Well, both technically have a castle. The summer one has, like, the little castle. It has two. It has that first little castle that teaches you basically how to glide, and then there's the one in the summer one also where you have to, like, go underwater, where you learn how to swim and go through it. And then the autumn one has that big old castle where you learn how to climb, and you're, like, inside of it, and it's a massive castle. Almost the whole hub world is almost like a castle when you stop and kind of look at it. So it depends on how big of the castle you're talking about. I mean, I could... Here we go. We'll dip back into YouTube. So, Autumn Plains. Autumn Plains. Music. Can I just do music and it... 1 hour extended. See, this is pretty close. Do they all sound like this? Oh no, this one's slightly different. See, Winter Tundra. This is Winter Tundra. This one... What's the summer? Summer forest. Summer forest. Duh. It's almost like all of them. They ripped it right from the game. They're like, what are we gonna... They just like slightly distorted it, just barely. And they're just like, this will work. No one will be on to us. Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. He heard Kajiwara's voice outside the door. Why ever not? I'm just going out for a bit. The detective was arguing with Ai. Great. Man, Ai... Such a piece of work. I don't like her. I don't like her. And just who was it who told me I should try to go about my life as normal? Asawa's wife sneered. Ma'am, please, How would you feel about being told to just sit around and wait? Ai has big Karen energy. Ai's angry shriek jerked Asawa to his feet. He hurried from the study to try to calm her down. Speaking of Karens, I saw a heavy, big old Karen energy video today about a lady who was complaining about wearing a mask today. Circulating online. A lot of those are popping up in the last few days, but she's like in her car crying. She's like, it was hard to breathe, and I can't see people's faces, and we can't hold babies. It's fucking killing me. Just fucking destroyed. Just... it was the worst. It's like those things where, yes, I can watch it and I can laugh, but it also actually makes me upset, like frustrated. And so like it's a weird thing where I hate and I also enjoy. I'm like hate watching, but I'm also getting slight enjoyment out of it. Because all it does is reveal that people suck and just don't get bigger picture stuff, but yeah, that video, it's funny if you find it. It's just like, she's like sitting in the car and she's like, I wore a mask for like 45 minutes and I couldn't breathe. And we can't make real connections because we can't see faces. It's like word for word what she complains about. Oh my god. Society doesn't deserve to exist. She's so put out. Ma'am, please wait. But by the time Asawa had made his way downstairs, his wife had already stormed outside, despite Kajiwara's attempts to stop her. Asawa doubted anything he could have said would have stopped Ai from leaving. Trying to physically keep her from going out would only have made for an even worse uproar. He was glad that at least it hadn't come to that. He was turning to head back to the study when Kajiwara caught his eye. Resigned, he headed down the stairs and bowed to the detective. Jesus. Again, great game design. This game, on the surface, isn't a lot. It's text, it's a visual novel, and it has still images. But everything in Asawa's story, unless I'm just not remembering correctly, all the color is sapped, basically, except for like very certain things, like the lights through the window here. But like from the people, like they just sap the color. It's all like mostly black and white, and it's just like a great way of visually storytelling with the limited things they have to just portray the direness of certain situations or the gloom of like. It's great. It's the little things, but it's great. I love in video games little things that add up to good bunch of little things. Any idea where she's going? Kajiwara asked. I mean, at a time like this? Asawa shook his head. I wouldn't know. I didn't think so. You know, your wife really is something else. Asawa arched an eyebrow. That's one way to describe her. A rather rude way, as a matter of fact. Oh, no offense intended. It's just that, ever since this case started, you've both been holed up in your own respective rooms. The more Kajiwara spoke, the more irritated Asawa became. What's your point? He demanded. I just mean, you haven't been having any, marital discourse. According to one survey, it's roughly 6% of households. Discourse between spouses is largely non-existent. Various reasons for this were offered by the couples in question. Many claim that they were too tired to have the energy to talk, or stated, we wind up fighting when we talk, or we have nothing to talk about. Depressing. Mind your own business, Asawa snapped. Kajiwara dipped his head deferentially. The two of us not talking isn't a new thing anyhow, Asawa added. I have a policy of not having pointless conversations. Jesus. It is quite common for Kenji Asawa to make it through an entire day without having a single conversation. On many days he opens his mouth only to eat or brush his teeth. His current record is a streak of 14 consecutive days during which he didn't talk to anyone. Speaking of being a hermit... Huh? It didn't look as though Kajiwara quite understood. Microorganisms such as viruses don't have conversations, and yet still they continually propagate in order to survive. Thinking about viruses, Asawa was back in familiar territory. He felt a surge of confidence. Once you have a clear purpose, conversation is unnecessary. And do you have a clear purpose for the relationship with your wife, Mr. Asawa? Of course I do. To be family. Arms crossed, Kajiwara struck a thoughtful pose. Jesus. It's that alcohol it's actually hitting. Gotta focus, gotta read well. At least I've learned one useful thing today, Mr. Asawa. Namely, that you don't like to have pointless conversations. I definitely apologize if I am, like, slurring reading and stuff. I actually am curious how this is as, like, a viewing experience. Like, are you able to just, like, do whatever else you're doing and then just able to listen to me read the story? Or do you have to be like, he sucks at reading? I've gotta like actually read the story myself. Also, I, especially on a night like tonight, realized that I take a lot of pauses and stuff as I'm like going through the story, and I don't know if that's actually obnoxious or if that's just like, oh, that's just part of streaming a visual novel. But whatever. It's a good thing to know. Kajiwara uncrossed his arms for a moment, then crossed them right back again, furrowing his brow. Dope. Good. Like, that's what I would assume. I mean, that's what I would want. If I was watching someone play a visual novel or something, I mean, all it is, it's streaming of a video game. It's not like an audiobook. Like, I'm not sitting here just being like, audiobook time, let's go. But whatever. But see, it's funny. You seem to have a tendency to have pointless conversations with me, and Because you keep coming to talk to me. Asawa saw red. You don't leave me much of a choice. Tensions rising. Tanaka poked his head out of the living room. Is something the matter? He asked. No. Asawa struggled to regain his calm. Perfect timing, actually. There's something we need to talk to you about. There's something I need to talk to you about. He turned back to Kajiwara. My apologies, Detective, but would you mind giving us some privacy? Kajiwara didn't move. Kajiwara, big, what's the fucking, from Death Note, big, why am I blanking on the kid detective prodigy character's name? Near fucking whatever. Also, anytime now I think of fucking Death Note, I think of the thing that I've seen. L. Why am I saying near? Near? L? Near. Am I thinking Near Automata? Am I pulling just a completely random ass thing out of the ether? I think of the Netflix thing that I watched. The Netflix adaptation of Death Note that I recently watched, like, probably at this point, less than a year ago. That was a treat. But yeah, L then. For some reason, just being, I guess, most obvious, detective, a little out there, has a banana. Kind of cold. Detective? Sawa gave the policeman a hard look and saw him crack a smile. Yes? What is it? Kajiwara said at last. Don't you play dumb with me. Give us some privacy. Is this a discussion I shouldn't overhear? Actually, yes. It's work-related. There are business matters I prefer you to keep confidential. Ah, I see. Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajiwara slipped away in the living room. Right? Like, going in, knowing it was going to be bad, and hearing from everyone that it was going to be bad, I think helped me not being so shocked that it was bad. And so, if I was able to separate it as being like a weird take on the series of Death Note, which is great, knowing it was going to be this weird thing, I don't think I was as hurt. Like, I wasn't like... I could objectively look at it and be like, oh, this overacting by these main characters is really bad. Especially the lead actor dude. The overacting was hilariously bad. Like, I can objectively look at that and be like, everything I know about acting, he was just way overacting. But, like, I wasn't like, oh, this is an affront to Death Note. I am hurt. Like, that didn't occur. So yeah, it was, I think saying it was laughably bad, but it was, and I had an enjoyable time for reasons because of it kind of being bad. Like, it was an interesting take. And I always say, I'll enjoy a bold, weird take on something over a very plain-ass, milquetoast, shitty, like, I'd rather you be interesting and bad than be boring and bad. I remember after I'd finished watching it, I read some interview the director or whatever had done. Just because I wanted to see something about the story and try to find out something more about it. And he said something like, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get it. It was an interview done like right after it aired, like debuted. And he was like, yeah, I don't know if we'll get it, but I intended it to, I want to do like a sequel to it and stuff. And I'm like, oh, good luck. Good luck. Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajiwara slipped away into the living room. Tanaka, Asawa began. About those emails. He stopped abruptly. Kajiwara had reappeared in the living room door, staring right at them. What are you doing? Asawa demanded. Oh, should I not be watching? Asawa felt like he was about to burst a blood vessel. I mean, you never told me that I couldn't watch. Because it should be obvious. The detective made a scolded puppy face, then closed the living room door. Asawa let out a heavy sigh. He'd never been an extrovert, but he didn't recall human interactions being quite this draining. I think the plan is that I can finish this hour. I think I can finish whatever we've got in Asawa's story and Kano's story. I don't know. I mean, it's 12:35 here. 1:30 Florida time. Hopefully it doesn't get too late. Hopefully I haven't delayed going so slow in this. We've been all over the place tonight's stream. Anyway, sir, Tanaka prompted. You were saying? Yes, about those emails. Something doesn't make sense. I don't understand how Mr. Makino was able to get the antiviral agent to anyone on the outside. Sharing an Akoshi Pharmaceuticals drug with external sources while it was still under development required the approval of an executive committee that included Asawa himself. Should have been no way the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. It's true. Wait, has school finished up? I have no sense of, like, actual time. Have you finished up classes? And if not, do you have a 3-day weekend as well? My sense of time and also how school works and everything, I've no idea. What are we? We're in May. I guess it would be over by now. Yeah, kids were graduating, like, Texas State, I was seeing. So I would assume, unless you're taking, like, summer courses. Oh, summer classes. Never mind. Yeah, I just realized that as right before that got sent in. More art, more quarantined art classes, like Nathan for you. The fucking dance over a webcam. There should have been no way the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. Tanaka hesitated a few moments before responding. Are you aware of the strife between the company president and the chairman? Asawa shook his head. He was a researcher through and through. Factional rivalries had no interest, held no interest for him whatsoever. Makino effectively leads the chairman's team, and the antiviral agent is their pet project. Despite being the executive officer in charge of the project, however, Makino still needs the president's approval to... You know what? Forget about that right now. What do we do about security? Nah. Well, I mean, if it's easy, then it's fine. You're getting it done earlier. In theory, it's physically impossible to get the antiviral out of the lab without detection. Entry to the biohazard laboratory, where it's kept, required fingerprint authentication from both Asawa and Tanaka. Oh, we get another slide. PowerPoint presentation. Technology that allows an individual's identity to be verified by scanning the fingerprints. It is one element of biometrics, the measurement of physical characteristics to identify individuals. There are even devices that can identify people by checking the veins in the palms of their hands or the irises of their eyes. Yeah, okay. The visual didn't really do much, but okay. I mean, okay. Without the two of them there, nobody could even get into the storage facility. Because a dangerous virus is also stored there. I don't know why I find that so funny. The lab where the antiviral is kept is protected by an ID checkpoint, as well as a sophisticated 3-tiered lock system that requires fingerprint authentication. Multiple security guards are also posted outside the laboratory entrance 24 hours a day, making it all but impossible for an unauthorized person to get into the secured storage area. Snaka followed his drift. Ah, yes, I see what you mean. He inclined his head in thought as Asawa continued. Oh, 3 choices. Let's check the entry logs for the storage section. Anyone who wanted to get inside had to present their ID card to the security guard on duty. Should be possible to check the computer logs to see if there had been any suspicious activity in the system. Tanaka shook his head. I already checked the logs, sir. There's no evidence of anything suspicious. You're welcome to check for yourself, though, if you're that worried. No, I believe you. Yet the fact that the antiviral had been used for clinical... I misread that. Yet the fact that the antiviral had been used for clinical testing. Either Makino had taken it from the laboratory personally, or someone working on his orders had done so. But how? Was there really some way they could have bypassed lab security without anyone else knowing? Asawa couldn't think how it would be possible. Fucking hell, dude. The living room door opened with a soft creak. It was Kajiwara, and he looked stiff and pale. Something terrible has happened, he said. Visions of tragedy flooded Asawa's mind. Maria? Is she... Kajiwara shook his head. No, it's not that. What is it then? Asawa asked, his voice trembling. Sir? I need you to stay calm. Asawa swallowed the lump in his throat. You see, the toilet's clogged. The audacity of this game. This just the audacity. We know Asawa's storyline is, bio-terrorism, potential storyline going on. Very heavy stuff. Family drama. Toilet's clogged. Yep. Yep. It's like... Okay. Plunger in hand, Asawa stabbed vigorously at the recalcitrant. I don't know how to talk. Toilet bowl, struggling to loosen the unseen blockage. A cleaning utility implement consisting of a soft, hemispherical rubber suction cup attached to the end of a dowel. By pressing the cup over the opening of a drain that has been clogged, one can apply suction pressure to jostle. You gotta jostle the blockage free. If you would have told me 2.5 hours ago that I was going to be reading about a plunger and how plungers work. It's a mind tactic, dude. This is all part of the plan. Makes a variety of sounds when used, such as glub, glork, schlork, schlorp, schloop, and pop. Kajiwara was at his side, wiping up the floor with a rag. How did this even happen? The detective groaned. Are you kidding? I was hoping you could tell me that. The plunger sucked and slurped at the porcelain basin. This was a first for Asawa. He'd never tried to unclog a toilet before in his life. Holy shit, it's his first time. Think of it as a blessing in disguise, Mr. Asawa. What the hell are you talking about? What about this constitutes a blessing? I just meant that at least this happened before you needed to, do your business. Without the slightest hint of guile in his face, Kajiwara picked up his bucket and headed for the sink back in the washing area. Grumbling to himself, Asawa pumped the plunger over and over again. This was almost funny. Yeah. No, there is a quite... maybe an irony isn't the word. But to have... It is... Okay, put yourself in the shoes of Asawa. Family tragedy. Family strife. Also bioterrorism. And then you're plunging a toilet. It's great. Almost ridiculous, in fact. His daughter had been kidnapped. Wow, literally just what I just summarized. And he was stuck in clogging a toilet. He was quite possibly caught up in a major corporate conspiracy. And here he was, unclogging a toilet. Me and this game are on the same wavelength here. Literally pointing out the same exact thing. Tanaka poked his head into the bathroom. Did you fix it yet? If you need to urinate, then use the restroom on the second floor. That's alright. Here's fine. Tanaka stepped in beside him and abruptly shut the bathroom door. Whoa! Alright. Now the two men were crammed together in the narrow lavatory. Hey! Asawa hissed. What the hell are you doing? Tanaka made eye contact with Asawa via the mirror. He spoke in a hushed voice. I've been waiting for a moment I could get you alone. What? Tanaka sidled around to face him, giving him an intense stare. Sir, could you please be quiet for a moment? Tanaka had tears in the corner of his eyes. This will only take a moment. This is getting eerie. Asawa could feel the warm breath of his deputy whispering against his cheek. Tanaka reached for something inside his coat. Oh my god, what the hell? Okay, I like that they use the plunger as a weapon. That's great. Alright, I say just let it happen. Whatever's happening, just let it happen. Alright, do as you wish. Asawa closed his eyes. Are you sure you're ready for this? I'm not sure. This is all happening pretty fast. To be honest, I'm rather nervous. I understand, sir. I mean, now that I think of it, we do spend day in and day out in that lab together. I suppose this was bound to happen sooner or later. Sir, could you please open your eyes? I'd like you to look at this. You'll have to forgive me. This is all a bit sudden. Please, sir, take a look. No, I can't. It's just the two of us. It's probably going to shock you, I know, but please, just look. Is it really that shocking? Oh, yes, very. Now, please, open your eyes. Okay. No, I can't. Sir, trust me, this isn't easy for me either. Alright. Bracing himself, Asawa opened his eyes. Tanaka thrust out his cell phone. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Asawa blinked, bewildered, then refocused on the phone. He could never have anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. The fuck is it? No! Okay. Okay. All right. We're at a problem here. We've got a problem. Wait. Wait. We're not at a problem. There's this jump. I remember. Jump on the phone. Brain blast. Because she's his daughter. Hitomi began typing out a response. Archie watched over her, wild speculations running through his mind. There was no way a mild-mannered young lady like her could be dating one of her father's co-workers, was there? Jump! Going right back into it. Right back into it, baby. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Asawa could never have anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. It was an email from Hitomi. Stifling an exclamation, he scanned the contents of the message. There's a man following me. He has a gun, and I think he's trying to kill me. I'm safe for the moment, so try not to worry. The kidnapper warned me, told me not to contact my family or the police. Please keep this email a secret. But didn't Hitomi give the kidnapper the ransom? Asawa said. What could anyone want with her now? Tanaka shook his head, uncertain. He wouldn't know any better than I would, I suppose. Do the police know about this? And if so, why haven't they said anything? He felt himself start to tremble as he searched for answers in Tanaka's silent gaze. Do you think this could be related to that other thing? I doubt it. If it were, why would they... No, that should be go. They just added a T. Why would they got after Hitomi? It's always weird when I see like a typo or something and I'm trying to figure out if it's me who's making the mistake or... I suppose you're right, but Asawa was shaken out right now. Tanaka laid a hand on his shoulder. First, just calm down, and let's think about what we know about the kidnapper. His composure helped Asawa keep himself under control. They've taken Maria, the vice director continued quietly, along with a ransom of 50 million yen, and now they're after Hitomi. His gaze sharpened. Sir, do you think this could be someone who holds a personal grudge against you? Grudge? Asawa considered. He couldn't think of anyone who would have a reason to attack him. He'd been too caught up in virus research since his time in school to have formed any hostile rivalries. He didn't have any enemies that he knew of. Maybe someone's jealous that he became head of a laboratory, he suggested doubtfully. He had held his position for years at this point. Why would that spur someone into kidnapping his daughter now? Has anything happened recently? Tanaka asked. Anything strange since you got back from overseas? Since I got back? Asawa's heart skipped a beat, then started pumping faster. The first thing that came to mind was the solicitation he'd gotten from the American laboratory. If he accepted the offer, it would put Okoshi Pharmaceutical in quite a bind. Possibly enough to warrant someone holding a grudge over it. But the only other person who knew about the potential transfer right now was his wife, I. No, Asawa said. Nothing. Not that I can think of. He couldn't bring himself to discuss the transfer of Tanaka. He felt a surge of guilt for contemplating leaving his trusted assistant behind. If he did make the move to America, he planned to recommend that Tanaka replace him as department director. Still, he didn't expect to make up for his abandonment. Alright, I'll see what information I can find then, Tanaka said. The kidnapper had forbidden any contact with either the family or the police, but Tanaka was outside of that circle, and he knew how to handle himself with discretion. I'm sorry to have to put this on you, Asawa said, and thank you. For now, let's see if we can get Hitomi to exchange some more emails. I like this shot from, like, below the toilet water. I only just realized that's what this shot was. I was very confused. Like, this is gonna sound really dumb. For some reason, I thought the visual was supposed to be, like, some, like, this makes no sense, what I'm about to say. like, two operators, and, like, the camera angle is from the position of whoever's being operated on, and I was like, I thought it was gonna be, like, explained for some reason. Like, I thought somewhere in their story it was gonna be explained that why I'm being shown, like, a weird, watery camera angle from someone being operated on, hovering over, like, two doctors over. I'm so far gone. Okay, an uncomfortable thought suddenly occurred to Asawa. He blurted it out without thinking. Why do you have my daughter's contact information on your phone? Tanaka gave him a worried look. Sir, I promise I can explain once all this is over. And with that, he stepped out of the bathroom. I don't like that exchange. Something in the tone of his final words left Asawa to wonder. Could it be that Tanaka and Hitomi were dating? He hoped dearly for that not to be the case. Their age difference alone made the idea of a disturbing one, let alone so many other considerations. Mamoru Tanaka is 40 years old, Hitomi is 19. This makes him just over twice their age. This does not necessarily mean, however, that they could not date or fall for each other. Many couples with such an age difference between them wind up in a happy, committed relationship. The fuck, game? Don't normalize that. Don't do this. Don't present that. I don't want this. Trying to put aside his paranoia, Asawa resumed his struggle with the clog in the toilet. Most toilet clogs are caused by a buildup of flushable paper products or by solid objects inadvertently dropped into the toilet bowl. But shockingly enough, on very rare occasions, where is this going? They can be caused by someone taking a dump that happens to be that big that it gets stuck in the pipe. Apologies to anyone who might be eating right now. I hope you're not eating. Oh, goodness. Kajiwara reappeared, still toting the bucket. You seem to be having a lot of trouble there, sir. He made it sound like the whole mess was Asawa's fault. Of course I am. I've never had to do this before. Really? I think the research you do would be a lot more difficult than this. Fixing toilets gives me far more trouble, I'd say. So it would seem. Kajiwara stood watching as if Asawa's efforts made an interesting show. I don't know the first thing about viruses, sir, but I don't find unclogging toilets to be that difficult. Oh yeah? Asawa snapped. Then how about you fix this damn thing? Kajiwara really was a world-class pro at pissing people off. Are you sure? You don't mind? The detective asked. Be my goddamn guest. Asawa shoved the plunger into Kajiwara's hand. Appropriate reaction. Leaving the detective to handle the toilet, Asawa marched back to his study. He turned on the CD player and lay back on the sofa, squeezing his eyes shut. He was seriously on edge. Kajiwara had totally broken his stride. What now? The door to the study slid slowly open. It's Detective Kajiwara, sir. Please don't come in here without asking. My apologies, Mr. Asawa. I just wanted to inform you that the toilet has been fixed. Right. Fine. Asawa hardly cared. He just wanted this guy to give him a little peace. Oh my, is that really all you have to say, sir? Nary a compliment or encouraging word? Maybe a good job, Kajiwara, or a you're getting a promotion, detective. Asawa blew out his breath in exasperation. How? How are you a detective? I'm not sure I get your meaning, sir. You are completely clueless. I'd like to ask your superiors to replace you with a detective who knows how to take his job seriously. Mr. Asawa, with all due respect, it's unusual for a precinct detective like me to be stationed here at a victim's home. What's your point? Not to brag, sir, but I happen to be an exceptional detective. Kajiwara beamed with pride. In fact, I made an excellent showing in the Superstar Detective contest we had on our police social media service. It's an online platform whose primary feature is allowing people to connect with one another The police-exclusive social media network that Kajiwara belongs to, Poxy, is very strictly regulated, with any abusive language, slander, sexual content, or lame jokes deleted almost immediately. For a moment, Asawa thought the bolt of incredulous anger that shot through him was the onset of a stroke. How could a single person be so utterly infuriating? And you can't tell anyone about this, Kajiwara went on, obviously. Obliviously, I mean. But this summer, a new detective manga is starting up, based on me. Detective manga. Planned for serialization in the MPD's monthly PR magazine. The chapter titles have already been decided. Chapter 1, The Fabled Detective Kaji. Chapter 2, Kaji Howls at the Sun. Chapter 3, Kaji Rides the Rails. Chapter 4, Kaji at Daybreak. Chapter 5, Detective Kajak. Chapter 6, Kaji, Queen of the Street. Chapter 7, Look Out Kaji. Chapter 8, Kaji on the Edge. Chapter 9, Dance Kaji Dance. Dance Water Dance. Chapter 10, Space Detective Kaji. And so forth and so on. I'm losing my mind. Asawa spat out a peal of feigned laughter. A manga? I can tell you all about the plot, sir. Would you like to hear about it? I would not. It's about a telecommunicating detective who solves major crimes using just his wits and his computer. Surely you'd like to hear about that, sir. Fucking crying, dude. I really wouldn't. I know I may not look it, but I'm pretty handy with computers. Kajiwara's eyes drifted over to Asawa's desktop. What the fuck? Ew! Plunger hand. His hand darted to the mouse. In a matter of moments, he cleared the screensaver and booted up a web browser. Hey! Asawa barked. Don't touch that! But he was too late to stop the detective. The monitor showed the page for AyaNet, a fan page devoted to Aya Kamiki. Asawa's imminent rage stroke was beginning to make his vision grow fuzzy. You come to this site regularly, sir? Regularly? Well, I'm not sure I'd, Asawa trailed off, feeling the heat of a blush flare in his cheeks. There's a lot of stuff on the site. Is there a section you primarily spend time on? Well, I mean, for my part, I really only go to the fan forums for folks 40 and over. Aha! With a twinkle of curiosity in his eyes, Kajiwara peered at the computer screen. Having his privacy invaded to this degree was the ultimate disgrace. Alright, Asawa huffed. You're an amazing detective, Kajiwara. Just incredible. I see you in a new light now. Now would you please... Now would you please get the hell out of my room? He tried to usher Kajiwara back out the door. Alright, sir, the detective said. Alright, I understand. I'll leave. But before that... Kajiwara slipped his hand into his pocket. I don't need a damn banana. It's not that, Mr. Sawa. I have something that I think may be important to you. He held out a small plastic bag. Inside was a scrap of paper of some sort. What's that? Asawa asked. This is what was clogging the toilet, sir. With some hesitation, Asawa took hold of the bag. Ew. Huh? That's... The passenger name here is listed as Kenji Asawa. In the plastic bag was a plane ticket, specifically the one for his upcoming flight to the US the following week. He left it out on his desk. How had it wound up getting flushed down the toilet? This looks like it's pretty important, sir, Kajiwara said. I must say it was pretty careless of you to accidentally flush it. A wry sort of smile came to his face. Although, the detective added, I suppose the question of who flushed it is another matter entirely. Kajiwara just fucking pushing the issue. Hitting us where it hurts. Asawa was at a loss for words. Someone had tried to flush his plane ticket on purpose. He was sure of it. I mean, the obvious thing is I, right? I don't even fucking remember. Did she want us to go to America or not? I don't know. I can't get over how Ai is just a terrible woman. He knocked on the door to Ai's room, but there was no response. It didn't look like she'd gotten back home yet. Asawa let himself in. The stinging scent of her perfume pervaded the room, which was decorated all in white. Clothes were strewn all about, as if to put her slovenliness on display. She'd been like this ever since they'd gotten married, and Asawa had long since stopped caring. It's not great. Must have been I who tried to flush the ticket. He knew she didn't want him going to America. Thanks, game. But still, couldn't she have found a better way to get rid of it? See, the thing though is that's too obvious of an explanation. Just putting that out there. Thanks to her, he'd been stuck hunched over the damn toilet fighting with the plunger. Asawa sat down on the bed amidst the brand name clothing. Then he spotted something odd down by his feet. It was a gold cigarette lighter. Just when had I picked up smoking. Asawa picked up the lighter and set it on the shelf next to the bed. He started out of the room, but stopped as he noticed a scrapbook on the bookshelf. The rest of the shelf was filled with fashion magazines, so the scrapbook definitely drew his eye. Curious, he took it down and opened it. The book was filled with articles and write-ups about the results of Asawa's research and the company's various achievements. Flipping through the pages took him on a trip down memory lane. There was even an old company memo welcoming Tanaka on board as his new vice director. There was a photo of Asawa shaking Tanaka's hand at the party celebrating his new position. It was a little peculiar to think that she had bothered to keep something so trivial. A series of magazine articles was nestled between the pages further into the book. These hadn't been clipped out for inclusion in the scrapbook itself. Asawa glanced through them. Floundering Akoshi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage of political convenience. It was a self-indulgent piece from some rag called 4-Star General Gossip, from right after he and I had gotten married. When the piece had first run, he'd been too furious to read it. Now he gave it a quick looking over. It was pretty much exactly what he expected. Talked about how one of the corporate directors had sacrificed his own daughter in order to keep one of his researchers on board, allowing someone else to come to harm for one's personal gain. In this case, the term is used figuratively, not literally. Referring to, of course, to Makino offering Asawa Ai's hand in marriage. Rumors abound of marital strife between the newlyweds. The article went on to talk about how Ai had been dating another man before she and Asawa had gotten married. The whole thing was a bunch of puerile rubbish. Any marriage involved some kind of calculated self-interest, after all. Whatever the reasons for their union, nothing changed the fact that I was now his wife. With a faint sigh, Asawa put the scrapbook back on the shelf. Feeling disconsolate, he returned to his study and began flipping through his CD rack. His eyes scanned for Aya Kamiki's album For Tomorrow, Forevermore. A classic. A lot of her more experimental numbers were on that album. Given how discombobulated he felt right now, this is what he needed to hear. Again, Asawa reflected on how there had been a time when he didn't care about music at all. He'd simply purchased copies of the most popular CD of the moment as birthday presents for his own 2 girls. And that had just happened to be an album by Aya Kamiki. Hitomi was thrilled by the gift, but Maria hadn't seemed terribly fond of it. The next day, she tossed her copy back on her father's desk. Figuring that throwing it away would be a waste, Asawa had stuck the CD into his computer to give it a listen. He was immediately bombarded by an intense beat bolstered by bold, uplifting vocals. Aya Kamiki wrote her own lyrics, which did a fine job of conveying the emotions of a teenage girl. Asawa could hardly believe it. After listening to just one track, he was well and truly hooked. Before the day was out, he had purchased her entire discography. He's a fan! Huh? He muttered. I did it again. I said murdered. Muttered. For Tomorrow should have been in the CD rack, but there was no sign of it. Where the heck is it? Why isn't it here? For a moment he wondered if he was going crazy, and then he remembered. It was at the lab. He wanted something to listen to on break at work, so he bought the album there. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it! Not being able to listen to it made him want to hear it all the more. It wasn't like he could just go out and buy another copy right now, either. He'd just have to borrow the copy he'd given to Hitomi all these years ago. Unable to contain his need to hear that music, he went into Hitomi's room. There, he quickly rummaged through the CD rack beside his daughter's bed. Part of him felt like he was being a little sneak thief. Sneak thief. According to the email Tanaka had shown him, someone was trying to kill Hitomi. Under the circumstances, he knew that what he was doing was ridiculous, and yet he still couldn't resist the impulse to find the CD. But his efforts were to no avail. There were no Aya Kamiki CDs in the rack at all. Asawa pulled out every CD on the rack, but they were all classical music. He slumped back in disappointment. It had to be somewhere here in her room. Asawa jumped at the sound of his cell and fumbled to get it out of his pocket. Makino's name was displayed on the LCD screen. "I'm out front." That was all Makino said before hanging up. Hurriedly, Asawa began tidying up the CD rack. As he worked, he thought about what he was going to say to Makino. To think that someone had violated corporate policy to such unethical ends. It sullied his research. Asawa wasn't about to let anyone get away with it. And yet, as he was about to leave Hitomi's room, a sudden uncertainty gripped him. He hesitated. Did he have any right to condemn Makino for running trials in secret? His hand began to sweat as he gripped the doorknob. No, he didn't. How could he? His hands were dirty in all this, too. Video. We need to keep this a secret, just between us. The fuck? It'll be fine. We've already cleared animal testing. The memories hovered. Asawa himself had already administered the antiviral to someone, hadn't he? It was the only way. Muttering to nobody in particular, Asawa trudged towards the front door of his house. What? No! 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 Where? Connect. Where's the connection? Where's the connection? Excuse me? Okay, let me think. We had to change 2 things, it said, right? 2 interactions. Unless... No, because if I had already corrected one of them, and then I just got the one here earlier, I think this wouldn't be showing bad end. I think as long as it's showing bad end still, I haven't fixed the timeline. Who else would interact with... We did it with him. It wouldn't be inside his own story, I assume. Kano wouldn't be... So... It's obviously not, like, a super popular game. I had for probably a couple years now. There's like this guy on Twitter I follow who always posts about, you know, games just of all kinds going on sale or whatever. And him and then a very small group of people whenever this game went on sale, would very hard push for people to play the game. They would along the lines be like, this is a great game, it's slept on, it's not obviously widely known about. And finally, a couple weeks back, it was on sale for extreme cheap, basically like for like $9.99 or something online. And I was like, I might as well do it. I was interested. I'm not against visual novel story games, so I was like, and I've been enjoying it. But yeah, as far as I know, it's not a widely popular game or anything, obviously. Did Tama do anything? Did Achi did anything with? Was it SOS? That's the cockroach. I don't think it would be in searching. I don't know. I mean, I can just sit here and we can try all the different potential options, is the thing. It's gotta be somewhere. It's not gonna be that far back. Alright, we'll just shoot for any choices I can logistically. Okay. This girl's kinda creeping me out. I decide to ignore her and move along. She refuses to back down, however. Ah! Hey, wait, please, please! She's begging out right now. She's got tears in her eyes. I really am super busy. Just one? Please, can you answer just one question? People are shooting us some weird looks as they walk by. Maybe it would be simpler to just answer a question. Then I'll get out of here as quick as I can. Alright, go ahead, I say. Oh! Right. So, are you, happy? Okay, that's nothing. Or is it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the story's blocked. We're blocked. Well, right now, as you can see, I am a cat. Oh, a cat. Yes, I see, a cat. So, yeah, I'll put down cat. She just writes the word cat in her notepad. Okay, thank you so much. Sure, I murmur. Later. I head off in search of the burning hammer once more. I got fucked over because now... Oh, okay, there, it's connected. Okay. Okay, then we're fine. We're fine, we're fine. Kano, Kano's still on the case. A certain someone needs to give those two some better advice, and a certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside his or her house. Okay, who meets up with them outside of his or her house? I'm fucking stumped. Certain other someone. It wouldn't be Kano. That would be... Unless it's like really far out there. I mean, I don't think this would be a difference. The way it portrayed the hint. They couldn't just leave him like this, but they were in the middle of a job. They should probably call Juvenile Affairs. Part of the communal safety section, which handles crimes pertaining to public decency, finances, pollution, and so on. Juvenile Affairs deals with misconduct and criminal activity involving minors. Since many SOS members are underage, and Shibuya Precinct's Juvenile Affairs Division had been ramping up its efforts to deal with the gang, although one detective in particular has been using this as an excuse to go on patrol at arcades, ignoring his duties in order to fuel his video game addiction. Kano took out his cell phone so he could call the precinct, but Sasayama stopped him, then showed the two youngsters his badge. Oh crap, you a cop? Yeah, it just goes to the same thing. That wouldn't be it. Would it be somewhere here? This is tough. Gotta find it. Gotta find it. Tanaka followed his drift. Ah, yes, I see what you mean. He inclined his head in thought as Asawa continued. I mean, we'll just have to ask Makino in person. The fact was that the antiviral had been used for clinical testing. Either Makino had taken it from the laboratory personally, or someone working on his orders had done so. But how? Was there really some way that they could have bypassed lab security without anyone else knowing? So I couldn't think how it would be possible. And then he just talks about the toilet. That's no good. Alright, we'll try this one more. Where is it? Where? Alright, following the drift. He inclined his head. I assume this probably is not going to change. Could someone have overwritten the fingerprint authentication program? Maybe whoever was behind the secret trials had reprogrammed the entry criteria while Asawa was overseas. That would follow them to gain access to the storage. That would allow them to gain access to the storage facility without Asawa being there. But that would only be possible if they had Tanaka's cooperation. Tanaka's eyes widened when Asawa shared his conjecture. Sir, yes, you don't think I was part of this, do you? Of course not. I was merely suggesting the possibility. The possibility is zero, Tanaka said. Making any changes to the system requires consent from the board, including your own personal approval, sir. Ah, yes, you're right, of course. I certainly didn't mean to imply anything. Asawa winced apologetically. Toilet. 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 I mean... maybe it's this. Having his privacy invaded to this degree was the ultimate disgrace. Alright, Asawa huffed. You're an amazing detective, Kajiwara. Just incredible. I see you in a new light now. Now would you please... maybe if I leave... now would you please leave me alone? He got up to leave the study. Sir, hold on. There's something I wanted to give you. Kajiwara reached into his pocket. I don't need a damn banana. Asawa fled the room. He needed to be alone, if only for a few moments. But even if he could somehow shake Kajiwara, the other detectives had eyes all over his house. He had reached the limits of his patience. He couldn't even think straight anymore. He headed for the back door, trying to avoid the police. Oh, I might have gotten it. Opening the door quietly, he slipped across the yard and out through the back fence. I think we're good. He didn't want to venture too far from the house. He found a tiny alley and took cover there, thankfully for a few moments to himself at last. While there, he caught sight of a man and a young girl, a father and his daughter, running past on the main road. That was a question. A father and his daughter? Running past on the main road. They looked as if they were running from something. The man glanced anxiously back over his shoulder, dragging his daughter by the hand. Asawa watched absently as the pair rounded a corner and disappeared from sight. Not long after, a pair of thuggish-looking men came running along, heading in the same direction. "You there," one of them called out. "You see a guy and his daughter around here?" Turo Tsuyama and his daughter Hana. They've come to Shoto while running from loan sharks. Just moments ago, Tsuyama was talking on the phone with Minorikawa. I mean, I don't need to jump. They should have come by this way. There was a hint of menace in his voice. I saw a faint ignorance. "Don't think so, no." "Come on, Yatora. Let's go," said the older man. Aight, replied the other. Aight. The two dashed off in the direction the father and daughter had gone. Asawa took several long, deep breaths. He managed to calm down slightly, but the worry gnawing away inside him still lingered. Wait, did I not tell them to go the opposite direction? Asawa groaned inwardly when he got back to his study. "You're still here?" "Yes, sir. I was told to keep my eyes on you, after all." "Believe me, it shows. Mr. Asawa, if you're going to go outside, I'd appreciate it if you let me know first." "What?" Had Kajiwara realized he'd snuck out of the outhouse? But more importantly, Kajiwara reached back into his suit pocket. "Did we not? Correct?" "I've been meaning to give this to you." He held out a small plastic bag. Inside was a scrap of paper of some sort. "What's that?" Asawa asked. "So what was clogging the toilet, sir?" With some hesitation, Asawa took hold of the bag. "Huh? That's..." Passenger name here is listed as Kenji Asawa. But... we were close. Am I meant to jump? I mean, it jumps right here. I don't think this is going to accomplish anything. Somewhere near Shoto. Someone was speaking in an oddly hushed tone. Shoto. I don't know if the office. I'm so confused. Do I tell him to actually stay where he was? I don't know. I thought we had it with this Asawa thing. Unless I just didn't press far enough into this. Oh, maybe I didn't. Here, we'll fast forward as much as we can here. Oh wait, but why is it... We had seen that it saved. Maybe that is the right thing. Maybe telling him... Maybe I thought I corrected it. Now what is this? What's... He didn't want to venture too far from the house. He found a tiny alley and took cover there. Thankfully for a few moments to himself at last. He hadn't be there long when he caught sight of a man and a young girl, father and his daughter, running past on the main road. It looked as if they were running from something. The man flashed a look back over his shoulder, then took his daughter by the hand and pulled her off the road. They crouched behind some bushes, hiding. Okay, so I think I corrected the Minorukawa. I'm messing up his name. I corrected that. I corrected it wrong. I thought I had to corrected it to the wrong path, then went and got... Yeah, no, the translation sometimes is a bit off. I guess it could be a lot worse, though. As he looked around wild-eyed, he spotted Asawa watching him from the alleyway. "Help!" the man called out. "Help me! Please! If these guys catch me, Oh!" The father's eyes went wide when he got a look at Asawa's face. You're... Huh? Asawa thought he recognized this fugitive, too, though he couldn't remember from where. "There were some real nasty guys after us," the man said. "I know I have no right to ask you this, but please, at least help me. Keep my daughter safe. Probably you should go to the police if... No! They won't be able to help me with this. Please, I'm begging you. Help me." I'm sorry, but... Please, if not me, then at least help my daughter," the man pleaded. Asawa looked down at the girl. She looks intense. Unlike her father, she was calm and reserved. She reminded him of Maria just a little. Yeah, fuck choice, eh? Asawa couldn't just stand idly by. He decided to help them evade their pursuers. "Alright, follow me." "Oh, thank you. Thank you so much." He led the two back to his house and into the storage shed out back. Oh, I'm about to sneeze here. Excuse me. "You can lay low in here for a while if you like," he said. The shed was fairly large. There's plenty of space for the man and his daughter. "I'm so sorry," the man said. "I'm not sure how I can possibly thank you." "Don't worry." Asawa closed the shed door and headed back out to take a look around. Two thuggish-looking men came running up to him. No doubt, these were the people the father and daughter were running from. "You there," said the one in sunglasses. "You see a guy and his daughter around here? They should come by this way." There was a hint of menace in his voice. "A man and his daughter? Ah, yes, I think I saw them run through here." "Which way'd they go?" "That way." "Sweet, we almost got him." The pair sped away. Asawa waited until they were fully out of sight, and called out to the shed. "Alright, they're gone." The door stayed closed, however. "I'm really sorry," the man called back from inside. "Those guys might come back this way. Is it okay if we hide out here a little while longer?" He sounded desperate, pitiful, really. "Sure, go ahead," Asawa said. With that, he headed back inside. Evidently, he just wasn't going to get any time alone today, no matter where he went. Okay. That should have that corrected. Perfect! Bingo bango, puzzle solved. Alright, this is gonna be it then. Through the last of the hour here for Kano. 1240, pincer attack. The two detectives took up position on opposite sides of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on his cell phone. "You ready?" he asked. "Just give the word." There were only two non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain of the handoff was about to take place. And sure enough, Hagrid appeared. The second man approached the one holding the Itachi case. After exchanging a scant handful of words, he took the case and walked off. "Sasayama! I'll handle the guy with the case." "Got it." Sasayama broke into a run, chasing after the man who'd taken the ransom. Kano hung up his phone and rushed to close the distance with their other man. Full-on tackle. A+. "You there, stop where you are." The suspect turned and Kano recognized his face. He was indeed a member of the foreign crime syndicate that operated in Shibuya. "Is the hostage safe?" Kano demanded. The man's only response was an unsettling grin. "Answer me!" But though he repeated the question, the man remained silent. Kano... Hiya! Kano took out his phone to check in with Sasayama. "I've got the suspect in custody," he said. "How's your end?" Sasayama hesitated. He got away from me." "What about the Itachi case?" "I'm sorry, but he's still got to be around here somewhere. I'm gonna go look around some more." Sasayama hung up, and Kano slipped his phone back in his pocket. As he did, the man pulled a knife from his breast pocket and swung it right at Kano's face. Kano managed to jerk away in time, but his momentum carried him too far backward, and he sprawled onto the pavement. Damn. The suspect was already making a run for it. Suddenly, a large car of foreign make skidded to a halt, blocking off the man's escape route. A tall Caucasian man jumped out. He wore sunglasses and a crisp suit. Now cornered, the fleeing suspect brandished his knife. "Be careful." Kano didn't even have time to finish shouting his warning. There was a metallic poing, poing, and the knife went flying through the air. The man in the sunglasses snapped his right foot up, sending the weapon flying. As the attacker's jaw dropped in astonishment, the newcomer proceeded to elbow him right in the face. The blow connected and the suspect went down hard. "Ah! Ow!" The fallen man turned his head to look at Kano. His mouth moved as if it were attempting to say something. He never got it out. The man in the sunglasses kicked him in the face. What a shot there. With a groan, the perp slumped down, unconscious. "Hey," Kano snapped. "The hell are you doing?" He stormed over to the man with the sunglasses. "Fuck is this character?" The man nonchalantly dusted off his suit. "You were ordered to watch and see where these guys went, right?" He spoke in fluent Japanese. Imagine that you are a Japanese person who has never been in a situation where you suddenly had to speak to a foreigner. You haven't used English in ages. Your tension grows. You think back to English class in school, but nothing you remember is helpful. You muster up the courage to choke out a stammered, Do you? The foreigner responds fluently in your own language. Uh-oh. Nihongo de dajubu desu. It's alright, I speak Japanese. What happened to that Japanese sense of honor I've heard so much about? Who are you? I'm from the U.S. Embassy's Regional Security Office, the man replied. Excellent. I just spoke fluent Japanese when I said that one sentence. An embassy is where ambassadors from a foreign country lodge and conduct much of their official diplomatic business. Under international law, ambassadors are guaranteed diplomatic immunity, and the embassy grounds are considered territory of the home nation. The U.S. Embassy's Regional Security Office is responsible for the security of American diplomatic facilities and personnel. It provides American citizens in Japan with information on public order. It is located in Akasaka, in the Minato ward of the Tokyo metropolis. No, don't. No! He presented Kano with his ID. It's Jack Stanley. What a white name. His title was listed as Security Assistance Officer. Kano glanced at the car he'd shown up in. The license plate was blue with white lettering. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs? But the ministry wouldn't just send some diplomat to intervene in a police investigation. What's your name, detective? Stanley asked. Kano, from the Shibuya precinct. Alright, Kano, I'm going to need you to follow my instructions for the next while. Why's that? Instead of answering, Stanley took out his cell phone and made a quick call. After a few moments, he held the phone out for Kano. Here, permission from your boss, he said. What? Kano squawked. He took the phone gingerly, bracing himself. Kano speaking. You imbecile! The hell are you thinking? It was Kuze, and he was furious. And was he furious? I think it should say he was fierce. Whatever. Understandably so, really. Kano had disobeyed a direct order, and for what? All he'd accomplished was losing track of the Itachi case. I'm sorry, sir. You really think sorry is gonna cut it? You're off the force, Kano. Kano slumped, defeated. He had no reply. He knew he deserved whatever punishment he got. Still, orders from up the top didn't trump the hostage's safety. If he could have gone back and done it all again, he was sure he'd make the same call. Maybe that meant he wasn't detective material, but so be it. That's what I want to tell you, Kuze continued. But for now, I need you to follow the instructions of the guy there, Stanley. Do whatever he tells you. Sir? Kano hadn't seen that one coming. He disobeyed orders, that was undeniable. And yes, he knew he deserved a reprimand. But being ordered to tag along with some stranger who just turned out of the blue? What the heck? What the hecky? May I ask why the US Embassy is involved with this? No more questions, Kano. Step in line. Please, just hold on. Sir, I have no idea what's going on here. Oh no! Okay, let me get this. I gotta see it. Nihongo de dajubu desu. It's alright, I speak Japanese. It's alright, I speak Japanese, and it just cuts out. That's good. No, it's good. I liked it. Please, just hold on, sir. I have no idea what's going on here. Kuze let out an exasperated sigh. That makes two of us, kid. And with that, the director hung up. It sounded like even Kuze didn't have the whole story here, which meant that orders were coming from someplace higher. A foreign syndicate moving the ransom around. The US Embassy. Whatever was going on, it was more than just a local kidnapping case, and Kano was deep in the middle of it. He handed the phone back to Stanley. A few moments later, two detectives from the MPD arrived on the scene. Stanley handed over the fallen criminal to them. You're chasing a bum lead, you know, Stanley said as he watched them carry the man away. What do you mean? Kano asked. I mean this kidnapping isn't about the money. My priority is the girl's safety. Right now, your priority is doing what I tell you to do. Burn. Kano gave him a scowl, but Stanley ignored it. That guy was just, arrested, he asked. He tell you anything? No, nothing, Kano said. Really now? All trace of emotion drained from Stanley's eyes. His gaze pierced Kano like icy daggers. It held a glimmer of something dangerous. Something Kano had seen plenty of times since he joined the force. He wasn't looking into the eyes of some diplomatic liaison. No. This was a man who knew how to kill. Who'd killed people before. With some effort, Kano managed to regather a sense of professionalism. He didn't tell me anything, he repeated. I just know that he's a member of some foreign crime syndicate that works out of Shibuya. I probably know some of their hangouts. Show me, Stanley said, cool as an automaton. Automaton! We'll take my car. Fluent Japanese, I can speak. English, it's a bit harder. Kano wiped away some of the sweat that beat on his brow as they headed for the vehicle. He was just sliding into the passenger seat when Kuze radioed over the wireless. Okie dokie, folks, listen up. The childish tone was back in his voice, full force. Kano stiffened on reflex. He knew what that meant. So, Hitomi Asawa has, like, gone missing. What? Kano couldn't believe his ears. Wasn't Tatsuno supposed to be protecting her right now? Also, Detective Tatsuno hasn't radioed in. And, like, we can't reach him from our end either. No way, Kano blurted out. It can't be. So, yeah, Kuze continued. I might have gotten caught up in this incident, too. It wasn't like a Detective Tatsuno's stature to go incommunicado. That's maybe the first time I've ever seen the word like that during an investigation. It could only mean that something had happened to him. Something major. We did it. That's 5 to be continued. Good stuff. Good stream. That was fun. Look at this. The next hour, 13 to 1400. Everyone's open. I went a bit longer than I thought I would, but I kind of got to that point where I was just like, oh, let's just push. Let's just push for that, finishing the hour there. I assume, probably, especially since I'm off on Monday, that I'll probably do a Shibuya Scramble stream tomorrow night as well. I don't know if it'll go... It might start potentially early and then go for a while. Earlier than I did tonight, but kind of have to play it by ear. But I'm fully enraptured by the story, which I think is the mark of a good game. I hope you guys had fun. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night and Sunday as well. Coming up here Sunday, I'm gonna take a big long sleep. Yeah, take it easy, and see you another time. This fucking game.